This week on the Steam Machine Podcast, you, my dear listener, have been listening to us for 5 years, and that just leads me to one question for you. What the fuck is wrong with you? Cue the music! Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me this week is one half of the Destructo Bros.
Hey, what's up? It's Willie. How are you doing? Happy 5th anniversary.
Thank you, sir. And we have the other half of the Destructo Bros.
What? How did that happen? Hey guys, it's Nate. What's going on?
And then on the other side of the world, we have the honorary Destructo Bros.
Hello, beautiful people. It's Adam.
Hey!
Thank you for inducting people into our family without running it past us first. He's cool, though. He can hang.
He's basically our pallbearer. It's fine.
Well, I am on your Switch family plan, so I guess that counts.
That is true. That is true.
Fair enough.
He's Sammy Uso. Yeah, Dane cackled at that. Jeff's like, God damn it, already?
Oh, I don't think Jeff knew it was a wrestling joke until you spelled it out.
Good. Let him seize on it.
I mean, he could spell it out all he wants. Jeff doesn't know how to read.
He is a duck, after all.
That's why I get so mad at wrestling, because all the companies are named stuff like WWE and WCW, and it's all these fucking letters, man.
He's like, why can't they just name it Quack?
Call it Frozen Peas.
Breadcrumbs and frozen peas. Then Jeff's interested.
Got any
That's what we need to
grapes?
tell him.
Got any grapes?
That's the next Yakuza game name, just so we can get Jeff to play it.
Like a Duckling 9. Got any grapes?
But yeah, before we get into what this episode is going to be, I am very curious. Adam, how you doing, man?
Yeah, really good, actually. It's currently midday here, so I do apologize if you hear children screaming and dogs barking. It's just mine. They're being rowdy, but I was let out of my little basement cage to join you guys today. I've been playing a lot of games, reading a lot of books, watching a lot of TV. Just rolled credits on an absolute monster of a game, which is going to be the next episode of Spectre Approved, Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Man, that's high
France's
up on my
hottest Japanese RPG.
Yeah, it was a fucking ride, let me tell you.
I've heard people obsessing over that. I don't even know that much about it, except that it's the finest JRPG out of France.
Yep. And after...
No, I was going to say, I bet the people who made... what was that game that I liked and you didn't? Edge of Eternity? Because that was a French JRPG, and I bet they were like, oh,
Sacre bleu!
Sacre bleu, god damn it.
The Martians are attacking the Eiffel Tower! Sorry, I've been playing Mars Attacks again. Or Attack from Mars, not Mars Attacks. One's a pinball table, one's a movie instead of playing cards.
And after Star Wars, our Star Wars app, it really got me down a rabbit hole with all of that. I actually ended up watching The Acolyte, which wasn't as bad as people make out, but it's cancelled anyway, so thanks Disney.
That seems to happen a lot, is like they just put out a bunch of Star Wars stuff and then like one will stick and they just cancel the rest of them.
I don't know how people keep up with any of like the Disney, like Marvel or Star Wars stuff, because like they want you to commit to watching so much content all the fucking time. And it's like, no, I'm just not going to watch any of it if you're going to try to make me watch all of it.
At this point, I have basically chalked it up to my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. So I play the Spider-Man games, and when I'm in a comic shop, I will buy a Spider-Man comic. I could give a fuck about Spider-Man movies. Like, I just don't care.
I want to watch the animated ones. Well, I've heard nothing but good things about those.
The lucky thing about Spider-Man is at least he was owned by Sony for so long that the Marvel, like Disney hasn't had as much chance to ruin the Spider-Man lore as they have with the rest of the Marvel stuff.
Very true. Shout out to our boy Toby. That's my Spider-Man. It's Tobey Maguire.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with any of the 3 Spider-Men. They're all good actors.
I agree. And that scene that they did, and I will say I saw it online in the new movie where they had the moment where they were all 3 kind of just looking at each other like, hey, I like the meme. Which is great. But yeah. Spider-Man, X-Men, and I do appreciate Deadpool, though I do think that money-making people are trying to beat Deadpool into the ground.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
I definitely remember before Deadpool was really popular when I had like one friend who loved Deadpool and was like, this is the funniest shit, you gotta read it. And I'd read it, I'd be like, yeah, this is pretty funny and shit. And, you know, he was actually surprised when he got a cameo role in one of the X-Men movie and then they completely deleted the character and sewed his mouth shut so he couldn't be Deadpool at all. Like, one of the executives at the company just fucking hated Deadpool as a character. But then it feels like afterwards he started to become kind of like a really popular nerd culture mascot and people kept running him into the ground over and over. And the movies are funny. I do enjoy what I've seen in the movies. Like, I have no complaint about the actual source material. It's just like they're getting dangerously close to oversaturation just because he's so big. Like, he's practically, you know, Spider-Man for people in their like 20s to 40s right now.
Yeah, and I think it was you and I that had this conversation. I don't remember if we have it on mic or not. Doesn't matter. Every podcast is someone's first podcast. Once they run out of Deadpool material, they can just go to Lobo. And then it would be like just like Deadpool, but new and shiny and a bit different, but still the same. Yeah, I don't know. I tell you, though, I would like to see Ryan Reynolds, like when he decides to be done with doing Deadpool. I want the last Deadpool thing to be Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Because that is the book that I have of Deadpool, and I fucking love it. It is hilarious. When he goes spoilers at the very end and he kills the Marvel writers in the writer's room and then looks at the reader and is like, well, that's everybody. There's no more pages because I killed the people who write them, so I guess this is the end of the book. It's like so dumb. So dumb.
It had to be that way. I couldn't imagine another ending, honestly.
It's basically the Marvel version of there's a monster at the end of this book.
So Adam, you brought up Spectre Approved. I was going to ask you, how's that been going, man? I've been enjoying listening to you and Finney.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a great time. It's so good having a co-host and not just staring at my face, looking back at me in the computer screen while I'm talking into a mic.
Been there. I know how that goes, man. Yeah, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, and we both had some awesome picks of games over the last 4 episodes I think we've done now, because we both have pretty similar tastes, so I think it's going to be good, although we may have opened up a can of worms with the listener. Yeah, I can tell that's what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the way, I apologize, but you did, and we did what the internet does. You were like, hello, lovely PG to PG-13 listeners. We're looking for some, game titles that if listener suggestions would like to get. Fucking Kana's like, Saya no Uda. I'm like, Euphoria. Kana's like, Pigeon Blood.
Why are you perverts like this?
So I did give some genuine ones too, like a Disgaea game, and then a couple of visual novels that aren't that. But I threw in Euphoria as a joke, and Kana ran with it, and I was like, all right, let's run with it.
Disgaea is not only a great name about making numbers go up, but it's also a great way for someone from New York to refer to someone they don't know. Disgaea!
Yeah, Disgaea.
It's my own fault. I know who's in the Discord. I opened myself up to it.
Animals.
Well, now I want to challenge Fenris, because Fenris is like, I don't mind playing fucked up games. Okay. All right, whatever. I will say this, though. If y'all ever decide to do a fucked up game for like an After Dark type segment or anything, I promise I will play it as well and guest. I'll put my figurative money where my mouth is.
I won't.
No, Nate,
we can let you pick a game for the show and you still wouldn't show up for it at this point. You're free.
Nate strictly will only come on for Leisure Suit Larry 1 and 2. That's it.
I am surprised we've never done Leisure Suit Larry, though, because that one does actually have enough historical value to be... Yeah, I'm going to say it's not just a stupid sex joke game.
Yeah,
but it is that.
That is absolutely a series that will come up, because I want to start doing... I think I've mentioned this a bunch before, and I've done it a little here and there, but I really want to start doing some games that are like classics and kind of visit them and kind of see why they were classics. Try to put myself into the headspace of like, okay, this game's really dated, but... how was it when it came out in 1994 compared to other shit that was out, yada, yada, yada. I think that would be really cool.
It would be interesting, because I think, I know personally I was more of a console person growing up, so video games from the PC in 1994, I mean, that was just Doom.
Yeah. It was Doom and whatever shareware games came on those Game Empire CDs. Yeah. We had a lot of versions of that shitty Star Trek game.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, I've heard people talk great things about the Gold Box series of the D&D games.
Yeah.
Like the Ultima games. Not all the Ultima games, but some of them.
I'm
Wizardry?
ultimate curious, but that is definitely one of those series that I'm probably never going to get into unless we have to do it for the show, because it's a little intimidating to jump in.
Yeah, I mean, you basically run around as a stick dude for the first like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
It's really 7 where it started getting where it's like, oh, it's basically 7 is what is like single player Ultima Online, basically. But yeah, there's a ton of games like that. Like another one that is like high up on my pick list. I haven't done it because I don't know why, really, but Septerra Core, because that was the PC equivalent of wanting to make a game like Final Fantasy VII back in the day, and then Final Fantasy VII came out on PC, and they were like, well, fuck.
Oh, that was a waste of time.
I feel like I've seen Septerra Core show up on the poll like 3 or 4 times, and it just never gets a foothold because something else always knocks it off.
Never gets no love because it's always on there with something with a really cool name that people pick because it has a really cool name, like Laser Disco Defenders or whatever the fuck it was. That didn't work. God damn it. Oh, man. So, anything else you wanted to touch on, Adam, before I ask these boys what they've been up to?
No, I finished a couple of books recently, but they weren't anything special. Just a couple of Stephen King's.
No, hold the fuck on. You can't say they're nothing special and then say that they were Stephen King.
I mean, to be fair, Stephen King puts out like 5 books a year. Not all of them are winners.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've read, I guess, just his winners. I've never read one that I'm like, meh.
I reread Cell, which is
great book.
Shitty movie, but great book.
Never saw the movie, dude, but I remember reading that in high school. And I remember being in class and finishing it and reading the way that book ends and shutting the book and just looking around. And it was like everyone's doing their work. And I'm like, I can't talk to anybody about this right now. This sucks.
6 of those books you can see up there on my bookshelf right now that I'm pointing at for the listeners at home are Stephen King books.
Hell yeah. I got a bunch over here, but my shelves you can't tell because they're just so fucked.
Yeah.
And the other one was Finders Keepers, which is the semi-sequel to Mr. Mercedes.
Nice. I haven't read either
So some of
those.
the relatively more recent stuff.
Yeah.
Although I guess I tend to think of anything he did after like 1999 as being kind of the recent stuff.
I mean, when he's been writing since, when did he start? Like late 70s?
Late 70s? That sounds right. I think he was only 19 when he wrote The Gunslinger, so like he's been going for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I think Cell was...
no, go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say, I think Cell was like 2008, so I guess that's kind of recent.
I definitely remember when Cell was new, and it was definitely when I was in my like 20s, so that tracks.
Oh man, calling that recent when looking what year it actually is. Life is weird.
Shut up, time doesn't pass.
Brother, that's like today when I saw that thing that said, Elizabeth by Ghost was released as a single 15 years ago, and I felt grays growing.
No, none of this shit is true. Let's go listen to that hot new band out of Australia, Jet. Time does not pass.
I grabbed a stack of books because I swore one of these books was Needful Things, but I guess I have that somewhere else. But as far
I have
as
Stephen King with me, Gunslinger.
Nice.
got The Skin Trade, which I don't know what the fuck that is. Stephen King's Dan Simmons and George R.R. Martin.
What the hell?
That's almost as big a collab as this podcast right now.
How did they get out? How did they get out of a sentence?
A Guide to Middle Earth.
They don't know how to end it, so.
Oh, hey, say what you will about Stephen King. At least he came up with a shitty last-second ending to The Dark Tower. I'm sure nothing like that would possibly happen to Game of Thrones. Now to take a huge drink and watch my TV.
I will say this book is always, this isn't Stephen King, but this book interests me because I have this in video game form. Ken Follett, The Pillars of Earth.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this book is about, but I have a video game of it. I have this book, and I've seen about it online all over the place, but I don't know. But
yeah,
no.
When you said you had a video game of it, I was like, oh, he's about to pull up I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, isn't he? And if you're wondering what that book is about, it's about misery.
No, that book is about Kathy Bates getting Stephen King's kneecaps in.
Yay, Nate, that was a good one.
I knew I had it around here somewhere. There it is, Needful Things.
Is that one of the short story collections?
Needful Things is about well, Adam, you can probably answer this way better than I can because you just read it, but it's about like a shop.
It's the one that's about the little D&D club that finds out there's a monster at the power plant. No, that's Stranger Things. My bad.
I'm going to throw things at you.
I can't believe no one twigged on that one.
I thought you were referencing Nexamon for a second. I'm like, wait, what?
I mean...
Yes.
You could really do a worse description. That's better than some of the bad translations you'll do later.
Yes. Yeah, oh, God, I can't wait for that. Salem's Lot, Needful Things. 4 Past Midnight, which I guess has Secret Window in it.
Okay.
This is a thick fucker to be a novella. So it must be a collection of novellas.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 4.
But which one is it? Different seasons? Yeah, I have different seasons. Right?
4 Past
Or
Midnight.
no, 4 Past
sorry.
Midnight.
I wasn't paying attention and you just said novellas and I just thought 4 seasons. My bad.
No, okay. Quite all right.
I just got lucky that when I think novella from Stephen King, the first book I heard described that was Secret Window, so I knew about that, or Secret Garden, or whatever it's called.
And then I have the Tommyknockers, which isn't that the things that eat time?
I thought that was the Langoliers.
Yeah.
That is the Langoliers.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the Tommyknockers is about. And then I have 2, for some reason,
They knock Tommy, dude.
versions of The Dark Half.
Look, Adam, you just
Well,
briefly
that's each one
mentioned
half.
Stephen King, and now we've been on a Stephen King tangent for like 10 minutes.
Yep.
If this hadn't been a video game podcast, it probably would have been a horror media podcast.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love Stephen King. Yeah.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
Because we could have had the exact same cast and it still would have been just fine.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? The Lawnmower Man? That's a video game, isn't it?
There
Based on
was a
Stephen
video
King?
game of the Lawnmower
I think
Man
there was
for
a
the
video
Super
game,
Nintendo.
Yeah.
There's,
Wasn't there a movie for that too?
yeah.
There was a movie.
There was a
yeah.
movie and a Super Nintendo game.
Super Nintendo, that's right.
And then just on wrapping up horror books, I have Diablo: Legacy of Blood, and probably the scariest book that anyone has,
The Holy Bible.
Jerry Seinfeld's Sign Language, and a whole bunch
What's
of other
the
shit.
deal
over
with
here.
publishers?
And when we used to do property preservation and we'd clean out houses, there would be books, and Wes would always like, I don't give a fuck, take them if you want 'em." Hell yeah. Like I ended up with some D&D books that I gave to my DM at the time, like all kinds. I found like a fucking Anne Rice collection once that I gave to Brandy. Like there's all kinds of shit that you find. I think I've told this story before, but walking into that one house that was just full of African American porn and Bibles everywhere. It was the strangest house. It was like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
Having a good time. That's what's going on.
Hell yeah. They were doing a lot of worshiping in that house. We'll just leave it at that.
Take me to church.
Nate, how you been, buddy? You hoosier?
Man, I'm doing good. It's been a while since I've recorded. I think the last episode I was on was Yakuza 5, which I feel like was several months ago at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, yeah, I've got a lot going on, but let's keep it to be a little bit more recent and topical. I am one of the few that went out and bought a Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling there's a lot of questions about that and how it is. And honestly, guys, so far, I love the thing. Like, the way... So I've done a few things on it to make sure like that I really like it as much as I think I would. So like I went ahead and started to transfer my Breath of the Wild over to the new Switch and downloaded, because it comes free with the Nintendo Switch Online, downloaded the upgrade plan for Breath of the Wild, which is usually like a $10 upgrade or whatever. And oh my god, the game runs so smooth. Like, I'm wondering if it's like how you would describe running it on an emulator on PC, smooth.
That's basically how they described it on Drop Frames. Was JP was saying that playing it at 60 frames and stuff on the Switch is awesome. And then he goes, but I know there's a lot of people in chat right now being like, yeah, welcome to the club. We've been doing that for a while on PC.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that the difference is stark, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, because like I had been playing, because I started my playthrough of Breath of the Wild again on the Switch 1 before I even knew I was going to get the Switch 2 on launch. And I was just like having a good time playing it again because it's a game that I haven't played since I played it when the Switch first came out. So I was like, it's about time I play this again. And so when I got the Switch 2 and just poured everything over, I had immediately could tell the difference because like I had just been playing it on Switch 1 and going over to Switch 2. It was just like, oh my god, this is so smooth. And it's like freaking wonderful. And like the setup is super easy. Like I was worried it was going to be a huge pain in the ass transferring everything from Switch 1 to Switch 2. It took a long time because I had a lot of shit on my Switch 1.
Yeah.
But the actual process of transferring everything over was seamless. The things that I'm really enjoying about it is like, if you play it in handheld mode, it feels huge. Like that screen is massive. It still runs everything so much smoother than the Switch 1. Just like the Joy-Cons feel so much better in your hand because they're larger now. And
Yeah, that was always my complaint, is they were so small.
So
Yeah, I couldn't use the Joy-Cons unless I had the little Joy-Con holder thing.
yeah, no, they're way larger now. They feel much better in my hand. I have big hands too, so it's like going to big hand dudes. Like, I wonder how it feels for a 5-year-old. But
Fuck them, they don't have $600.
right? So, And then I guess the big thing too is like,
sorry, that's $20,000 to you, Adam.
yeah. So I did get the pack in with Mario Kart World, so I got an $80 game for $50. How you feel about that, guys?
Yeah,
So-
that's rare for Nintendo. That's a win.
Yeah. And so I am loving it. Like, I've had a really good time with it. It has a bunch of new fun modes that the previous Mario Karts didn't have. Like, the one that I'm really enjoying a lot right now is called Knockout Mode. And what that is like you play online and like it's 24 racers in one race, which is the biggest cast Mario Kart's ever done. Like, so I'm pretty sure, like, wasn't Mario Kart 8 just 12 people? So they basically doubled it from the previous games. And so...
And even 12 felt like a lot. Like, I'm used to the 8-player races in, like, the first ones.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Like, 64 and SNES were...
64 and SNES were both 8. I don't know how big Double Dash was, but I think it was also 8.
I think we went to 12. I think we might be where
That
12
might be it,
started.
yeah.
But anyway, 20...
I believe that because I didn't play
So
much
the
of it.
knockout mode, like, basically it's like you're driving through... And I guess this is another thing I should mention first, too, is like there's a whole open world in Mario Kart World. And so instead of just like
So cool.
racing one track for these knockout races, you're basically racing over the open world map in a set path during the knockout race. And it's set to like 6 segments, I think it is. And each segment, 4 people get knocked out until it's down to the top 4. And then it's a race between the top 4. And it's just so freaking fun because like you have like, you know, like maybe 2 minutes to make sure you're in position to stay in the race. Or otherwise you're out and you just have to queue into the next lobby. And I've been having a good time with that. And I was playing it today, and I finally got my first win. And
Yeah.
the thing about it was, like, I'd just been sitting there playing with all these small characters. So, like, I started out with Dry Bones, and then I was playing as Cheep, because they added so many ridiculous, just little Mario enemies to this game as playable characters. And it's just funny. I get to play as a Cheep. How funny is that? Which is the little fish. And
I loved when it first came out. There were screenshots that people would get into races, and everybody was the panda.
the cow.
Oh, the cow. Excuse me, the cow.
Yeah.
And
I would say the cow's the designated goofy meme
Yeah.
character. The
It
piranha
warmed my
plant
heart.
of this game.
Yeah, the cow is awesome. It was so funny when they added the cow from Moon Meadows to the races. But so I was sitting there doing these races, like, man, I'm not getting anywhere in these races. I was coming in like 16th place and stuff. And my wife sitting on the couch next to me was like, you know what you should do? What? Play as Donkey Kong. I'm like, why? She's like, because you're playing as all these small characters and not winning. Try Donkey Kong. So the second I go into this Donkey Kong race, I kill everybody and win. I'm like, God damn it, why were you right? I wanted to be the funny, small, cute, funny characters. But nope, it's always Donkey Kong for me.
moral of the story: always listen to your wife.
Yeah.
The
And,
moral of the story is always bet on Kong.
and that's a good segue into the fact that, like, one of the main reasons I wanted to get Switch 2, and I wasn't so... I didn't really need to get it on launch, but my wife talked me into it, which was really sweet of her, and I love it. But one of the main reasons I wanted to get it is because that new Donkey Kong Bonanza game is coming out in July.
I was just about to ask you about that. I
Yeah,
haven't had a
same.
chance to watch that direct, so like, fill me in on what that is.
Oh, buddy, that is a lot.
It is a lot. Like, honestly, and it's fun. It was a funny thing they did when they were first announced the game and first put the trailers out. They had Donkey Kong and this weird little rock as his partner that was up on his shoulder and everything the whole time. That was a red herring. That character never existed. They just didn't want to announce who the actual character was until that point, until they did this direct.
Tremendous.
It did get leaked beforehand, though, so a lot of people already knew. But, so...
I didn't see the leaks. I'm so happy it surprised me.
Oh, really? So it's Pauline, but a teenager form. So like Pauline is a young girl, is his partner, and, which I think is really cool because I really like that character, and they've really been doing a lot to flesh her out lately. Like they added her in Mario Kart 8 before they added her to Mario Kart World. Like she's in all the Mario Karts and all this stuff now. I'm just like really happy with how they're treating her character, especially just, like she was kind of like AWOL since like Mario and Mario and Donkey Kong 2 or something like that. Like.
Oh, wow.
One of those.
I don't even know
games.
who she is. So
She's the mayor of New Donk City and was the original captive in the arcade Donkey Kong
Yeah,
game.
so
Then she basically disappeared for forever.
yeah. So the original Donkey Kong, that's not Princess Peach, that's Pauline.
oh, okay.
Yeah. And so
I learned something today.
yeah, in this game,
Yep.
it looks amazing. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, there's so much movement and so much stuff that looks like you can do with it. Like, apparently, like, the entire levels are destructible, so Donkey Kong can, like, punch his way through the dirt, like, grab rocks and hit them through, like, just so much stuff that he can do through that.
So you could say it's going to be Red Faction Gorilla?
So what it's kind of looking like to me, except for without building, just destruction part, is kind of like Minecraft meets Mario Odyssey.
But there is a little building, too, because you can pick up sand and throw it at harder surfaces to make, like, slopes and stuff.
Yes.
Like, I was definitely getting that vibe, too.
So, like, I'm getting, like, Mario Odyssey meets Minecraft. Like, they're doing some interesting stuff with this. And, like, the movement in the game looks fluid because, like, you would expect it. It looks like it was made by the same people that made Odyssey. I don't see how this game's not going to be a smash hit and probably one of my favorite games once I get to play it. Like, I am super excited. And plus, y'all know I've loved Donkey Kong for forever, and I've been waiting for a new mainline Donkey Kong game since Tropical Freeze, which that came out originally from the Wii U, so it's been a while.
As someone who kept hoping for Metroid to finally come back, and they finally did get their announcement, I'm like, sorry, Nate, I'm sure the ape will come back one day too soon.
But fuck Star Fox.
Oh, Jeff. Jeff, we're not... Nathan's bullying you. I like Star Fox.
I wonder if maybe this will be Kong's console.
Yeah.
Because, like, I hope they let his game breathe a little before they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, here's a... God, this is going to be
Here's Mario and Zelda.
Yeah, here's a new Mario. You know, like... and then all of a sudden...
I do hope there's a Mario for the system because it'd be insane if there wasn't. But, like, I do hope it comes out in 2026 or so.
I feel like they have plenty of time because I feel like they're still riding the high off of not just Odyssey, but 3D World, Bowser's Fury, and Wonder. Yeah, like we're not due for a new Mario masterpiece.
And I feel that way about Zelda too.
Yeah,
because Tears of the Kingdom just came out a couple years ago, and
I mean there was the remake of
Link's Awakening, right?
Yeah, I was about to say Wind Waker. I'm like, that's not.
Oh yeah, what's the newest Zelda game that isn't that same
Echoes of Wisdom?
Yeah. I haven't played that one yet. I should get that.
I want to try Cadence of Hyrule. I never got around to that, but I never got around to getting any good at Necrodancer either, so...
What I thought was interesting about Crypt of the Necrodancer is that you could import your own music into it.
Huh. I mean, until I get anywhere in the original game, I'm not going to try customizing it at all, because right now I'm so trash at it that it really doesn't matter what music I'm dying to.
Yeah, I bought that game for the Switch a long time ago. I played it like twice. I was like, yeah, this one's not for me. So like, I had to drop that one.
I just feel like I don't get it yet. Like, there's just something it's not clicking for me yet. But I think it's a me problem, not a game problem.
I agree. That's probably the same with me, too. But, like, there's so many games out there that I don't feel like learning another one right now. Especially because, like, I've been playing Dead Cells again, too. Which I wish Dane was here, because I know Dane has played this game a bit, too. And he would have some commentary about it, too. But I have been playing on the hardest difficulty level, which is the only way that you can get to the true final area of the game and the true final boss. I've reached the true final boss twice now. I have not beaten him yet, but like I feel it coming, y'all. And I've been playing this game on and off since 2017, and I'm ready to freaking beat this damn game. Like, I've beaten it, rolled credits on it probably 100 times at this point, because like beating it on all the other difficulty levels. Because it goes from 0 to 5. But, like, I need to get this 5 win. I need it. I'm jonesing for it.
I don't even remember if I have any 2 wins yet.
Is Dead Cell the ones that came out with all that Castlevania DLC as well?
Yes.
Yes!
Which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
It has the Castlevania DLC and then, like, some representation from, like, 12 other indie games. Like, each of them has, like, a lore room and a weapon based on those games and a costume.
Yeah. Like, it crossed over with one of my other favorite games of all time, Hollow Knight, because, like, you could have a Hollow Knight costume, and the Pure Nail from Hollow Knight is available as a weapon in Dead Cells. It's just really cool.
It lets you pogo on enemy heads.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And you get, like, critical if you consecutive pogo or something like that?
Every pogo's critical, so, like...
Oh, every pogo's critical.
Yeah,
I still just think
like
it
has like the gun and sword from Hyper Light Drifter, and there's some other really
so it has
cool ones.
The Puyo power from Guacamelee,
which is kind of useless. I feel like, at least I don't know how to use it, but I really love the Guacamelee costume because it just basically makes you Juan Aguacate.
Like, there's like stuff from Slay the Spire, stuff for there's a bunch of indie games. Like Terraria is represented with the Star Fury sword.
Yeah, that's right. I have no idea how to use that one either.
But yeah,
it just feels like it doesn't do enough. But I don't know how I know how to hit people with the stars, which doesn't help any.
Well, just really good times. Like, I'm excited about that and just playing through all this. And then this week,
the way Nate's been updating me on his Dead Cells build, I really get the impression that either he really is close, or at least he wholly believes he's close, because he keeps sending me his inventory right before the boss fight, and I'm like, ooh, maybe you got it this time. So far, not yet.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it. And then
I believe in you. I believe it. I mean, I told you that I thought it would be like within the next 7 days before you did one thing, and then you did it that same night. So I feel like you're kind of in a similar window for this one too.
Other than that, my dad's coming down this weekend to help me put in windows in my house, so that's going to be a fun Sunday. It just has decided just to get hot as balls out here. Like, heat index is going to be in the 100s Fahrenheit, so... Sorry, Dad.
No.
But until now, it hadn't stopped raining. So it's like we're going from it not stopped raining, so you don't want to put windows in while it's raining, to brutal heat. So thanks, Tennessee.
From experience, keep some water bottles on you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hydrate or dihydrate?
Hydrate or dinate.
So what about you?
Hey, damn.
So what about you, Willie? What you been up to, buddy?
Man, I've been exhausted, been dealing with work and the heat and all that lately, because I do have to push carts around from time to time, and that is exhausting. I kind of had heat exhaustion during one shift and had to just kind of sit around most of the day afterwards, so that was not fun. But aside from that, I haven't really been doing much because I get home from work and I'm so tired, I just mostly go to bed. So I was so glad that we had a retrospective episode this week and not a game, because I would have got 0 hours into the game.
Yeah. Highly considering going back to 2 weeks just to make it easier.
It may be worth it. If you think that we should do that for the next game, I don't oppose. I think the weekly experiment was fun, but
Save it for October.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyways.
And there's definitely times where we can bang out a game in a week, too, if it's just like a super short one. Like, we could do back-to-back short game poll and then a short picked game, too, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But if the games are going to be significant dive requirements...
Take a little more time.
Yeah.
For sure. So,
like, if we ever get around to any, like, narrative games or games that are part of a series that we care about, for instance, that would definitely be a good case to go to at least 2 weeks and maybe 2 episodes.
So you've been playing anything? You just been sleeping?
I mean, I played a little bit of stuff. I've been hopping through some idle games again lately. There's a website, galaxy.click, that's like a home of a whole bunch of idle games that can be played in browser windows. And it's pretty cool that way. So I've been replaying one called Absorber, which is kind of like a RPG setting game where you have a selection of a bunch of enemies to fight, and each different enemy increases a different stat when you fight them. So you want to kind of fight them in a specific order so you can get through all of them. Like, one of them might say, increase your attack but decrease your speed. Another one might just increase your speed but have a chance to instant kill you. Another one might, for instance, have something that makes you immune to instant kills, but, it's really hard to beat, etc., etc. And you kind of go through all of them. A loop it depends on how far into the game you are, but they're not very long. But I think the problem is that after about the midway point, it kind of gets repetitive, because eventually you don't gain enough after each prestige to make each run feel meaningfully different from the last.
Yeah, I've had a few idle games where I kind of run into a point where I'm kind of like,
The good thing is, at least it's finite. Like, there is only a certain number of perks you can grab from the skill tree. There is only a certain number of challenges to do. So eventually there is an ending point.
I'd say I'm rapidly approaching that final achievement for Firestone.
Still, jeez.
Like, and let me tell you, since we got the creator of the game here, when I get that final achievement, after putting in a little over 6,000 hours into this game, I'm taking me a nice -4. Which I will probably end up replacing next time something I like goes on sale, and there happens to be 2 or 3 of them for like $4, and I'm like, God damn it, Steam. But yeah, I'm plugging away. I have my life tree at level 28, and it needs to be level 30. So
as soon as he gets his -4, he's going to see the Titty Clicker Master Collection available on Steam at half price, and he's going to buy it.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
I did filter out those recently so I would stop being tempted to buy them.
I have bought an inordinate amount of games this year, actually. I'm quite unimpressed with how high I am in backlog golf. But then we got Mr. -8 here in the room.
And this thing, I just have not been buying stuff, and the stuff I've bought I've actually played, like Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
So just like I've actually been just playing games immediately after buying them rather than stocking up. Like, it's crazy. I don't know how I broke the cycle, y'all.
I think you get a +12 for buying a console.
Yeah, I know Mikolov's been popping in randomly with a minus here and there too. So it's adding up. I'm trying my best. I'm wondering if Dane's gonna pull some shenanigans again this year. Cracked me up last year. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, here, boom, and then here's like a -20 something.
Yeah, because he did like a kid trying to cheat at Book It and basically read the equivalent of a bunch of Hop on Pop books.
Yeah. Hey, it worked though. He won. I know there are no stakes, but
Stakes.
Steak.
There are no stakes, but he burned mine. Arrgh. I wasn't even participating last year. I just like yelling at him on principle. I really don't care.
Dane likes his steak well done with ketchup.
Wow. Might as well shoot him. Get a famous character like that.
One of my
Tell
favorite.
him politely but firmly to leave.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments in King of the Hill is that right there. But what if they want their steak more than rare, Dad? Well, then you ask them politely but firmly to leave, Bobby. That's what. Bobby. Oh man.
Did you see King of the Hill, Bob's Burgers, and Family Guy got Fortnite crossovers recently?
Yeah.
Amazing. I don't play Fortnite.
Nothing surprises me in that game anymore, honestly. No, I don't either. I was just scrolling down the Epic Store and I saw it and I was just like, dang it, Jonesy, that boy ain't right.
Well, that's my thing, dude, is like, I just want, like, if I ever did play Fortnite, I feel like I would be compelled to buy a skin like that to make myself feel like it's worth me playing. Oh, I can go in and shoot people as Hank Hill, or I can go in and build things as Hank Hill. I can go in and play Guitar Hero as Hank Hill.
Yeah.
That's probably
there
most
is the Fortnite
attractive
Festival.
part.
That is true.
Fortnite's one of those things that's just like, I have no problem with it whatsoever. It's just not for me at all. But like, I respect the hell out of them, like, putting... I mean, what other video game can you fight Sabrina Carpenter versus Goku versus Hank Hill? I mean, that's just insane.
Right? Like X wants, they want to say Twitter is X the everything app. No, Fortnite is the everything app.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It's nuts, like, and I mean from all different kinds too, because like you might see a God of War skin in the same game with a Master Chief skin in the same. I don't know if they do Nintendo skins. I don't think Nintendo
would
might
not
do
allow
that.
that. No, Nintendo when
But
they
everything else.
when they put not Fortnite when they put Rocket League on Nintendo Switch, they put in skins for a couple cars, but they were only visible on Switch systems. So, like, if you were playing as the Metroid car online, you could only see it if you were playing another Switch. So, like, if you were playing against somebody on PC, they could not see your Metroid car at all. It just looked like a Dominus.
How would
To be fair, that's also what they did with all the other cross-platform, single-platform exclusives. The Sweet Tooth is the PlayStation exclusive from Twisted Metal, and I think the Warthog is an exclusive for the Xbox from Halo. Yeah.
How would they code? That's impressive coding.
It's just if you're playing on the Switch, you have the skin. Otherwise, it just shows up as a default car that has the same hitbox.
Yeah.
The thing is, all the cars in that game, they standardize them to 5 hitboxes. So basically, even if it looks a little bit different, the car under the hood is basically running the same code as an Octane. Yeah.
I gotcha. Give me the mystery machine then. Scooby-Doo
That
van,
would be
because I
so
always played the
dope.
big van because I was just a hitter.
Was there not ever a mystery?
No, dude.
That seems like such an obvious crossover for that.
I feel like I've tried to make something that looked like the Mystery Machine on a Merc before.
Okay.
Yeah,
But then I ended up giving up and making a Vaporwave or something. I think that was like the
played
first
that
thing I
so
tried to
long.
do.
Like, I haven't either. I haven't played like any like online competitive games in a long time, and let me tell you, I feel so much better for that. I do not miss competitive online. Sitting here getting sweaty trying to beat people at video games. I'm like, nah.
I don't miss getting sweaty. I miss getting sweaty. It's the thing I don't miss is grinding for battle passes and equipment.
Yeah, that was so exhausting.
Yeah, I've always like all of my life been more of a co-op player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we got good games like Phasmo and Deep Rock Galactic and stuff like that, too, which I think are chiller experiences for people of our temperament.
Just like when we did like No Man's Sky or Terraria, we all had a good time with that. We could just fuck around and do what we wanted to, and it wasn't like hurting the team, you know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I would love to find another game that all of us could jump in, you know. Adam, Dane, Jeff, everybody that is the normal hangouts. Even Kana. Now Kana's got her little PC going.
Yeah.
I think you would like Deep Rock Galactic if you haven't played it. It's like
I own it.
gnomes, first-person shooter, mining. It's fun. Or not gnomes, dwarves, but you know what I mean.
Wow.
I own that game because I walked out in the living room one day and my dad's just playing this game on the PlayStation 4. And I'm like, what are you playing? He's like, I think it's called Deep Rock Galactic or whatever. He goes, I don't know. I'm a dwarf. I drank a beer and now I'm shooting rocks.
That's the game, baby. That's exactly it. 100%.
And I was word?
That's it. It is very much the dwarf life. If you like drink beer and dig hole, you will be happy.
I mean, there's that game. I really want to check out Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one keeps coming up and we just never get around to it.
I want to get back into some Red Dead Online. That was always a good time.
Yes, absolutely.
And I want to drag you boys in for some hunting in the Hunter Call of the Wild since we all have that on Epic. Now, I do want to say, Adam, have you played it?
Yeah. It's a bit too immersive for me.
I was about to say, now when we play Hunter, it's going to be, let's just bullshit and chat for a while and maybe we get to shoot something. Because it is like true hunting. Like, if you hear an animal call, you need to crouch and move slowly towards it. When I tell you move slowly, I mean like you creep along. But
I just creep, yeah.
I enjoy it for a time killer now and then. Like I was showing you guys my kills earlier.
Yep.
Got me a Manitoba elk.
Yeah, a bronze Manitoba elk. Get good. Get a trophy,
I literally
son.
thought you were about to say I got a manatee, and I'm like, I missed that one.
A Manitoba.
Got a bald eagle.
I will say that I shot a bear today in the head.
Wow.
I was wondering if you could shoot bears.
There's a few bears. I actually also have a map that is in India, I think it is. I don't remember the exact area.
Oh, wow.
Maybe Kanpur or something like that, near that. Anyway, there's tigers.
Oh, shit.
And I haven't run into one yet, but I'm terrified to. Because when I found that bear today, shot it in the head, it turned to run, so I shot it again in the side, and then I shot it twice in the ass as it was running away. I found its blood spot drop, and it said low blood rate. So I'm like, oh, so I didn't hit it in any vital area at all. I hunted that thing for 30 minutes, following its blood trail, trying to find it, and eventually the blood trail stopped and its tracks continued, and I went, oh, that's going to be a mad bear. You know what? Never mind. And I went and I shot a duck out of the air and then went and got that instead. I did get an achievement for that, though, because I accidentally was trying to zoom my scope out and pressed the middle button, which takes the scope off the gun. So I just, on accident, no-scoped.
You fucking no-scoped?
Yeah. Boom! Shot it, and I got a fucking achievement for... It was called, like, the old-fashioned way, and it was shooting an animal with a rifle without a scope.
It is 360 no-scoped a bird.
I did, right out the sky.
Major
Mallard
League
duck.
Hunting.
It was a mallard duck. Now ask me if I found that duck after it fell out of the sky.
That's why you gotta get that dog from that other Nintendo video game to help you find the...
Man, I have the DLC for that game that is the little bloodhound dog. I just didn't have it equipped.
That's funny.
Now you are fucked. Shit out of luck. You have shot it, but you can't find the duck.
Did you ever get any kills, Adam, when you played it?
No.
No. It's a real hunting sim, that's for sure. There's nothing arcadey about that game.
What was...
Yeah.
Were you hunting emu? Sorry, Australian history joke.
Oh, don't bring up the Great Emu Wars. That's got to be traumatic to think about.
There is
It was
a
ostriches,
reserve.
wasn't it?
No, emus.
No, it was emu.
Well, just...
There is a reserve that is an Australian reserve that I think you can hunt kangaroo.
Well, don't fuck around with
Okay.
the cassowaries.
Oh, God, dinosaurs. They're dinosaurs, dog. I've heard kangaroo is good. Like, it's a very lean meat, but it tastes pretty good. Makes good burgers or something.
Yeah, that and crocodile are pretty good native animal meats.
Dude, I love some gator tail. I would love to try crocodile.
Same. I mean, I haven't tried gator tail either, but I've heard gator's like chickeny a little bit.
It can be if it's cooked right. I have had once, I had gator tail that was awful, and I think when they were cutting it, I don't know if they hit the urinary tract or something.
You got the piss gator.
The meat tasted like ammonia, like it was like, or it was like the bowl wasn't washed properly after being cleaned or something. Dude, it was awful. But every other time, gator tail was fire.
It was the intoxicator.
It was. Oh man, I'm just trying to think like how long did you play the hunting game? I'm very curious as to how you didn't shoot anything.
Well, no, I shot my gun. I just don't think I killed anything.
Okay, now
Do you think you winged anything?
that I believe.
Like, you think you maybe did like one hit point on something at least?
Yeah. I probably just the creeping that Dalton was talking about. I wasn't down for that at all. I was like, I just want more like Cabela's type of game.
Well,
where I can actually kill
I've heard
stuff.
Cabela's Dangerous Hunts is like the most fun hunting game.
let me tell you, Adam. if you use Wiimod for Hunter Call of the Wild, not only can you make your... Now, I don't do this because I actually do play that game legitimately, but you can not only make your steps completely silent, but you can also up your movement speed to where, like, when you hold the run, you just run at, like, 50 miles an hour or whatever, and nothing can hear you. So, like, you can just roll right up on a fucking herd of animals and just start dooming them to your heart's delight.
Yep.
See, I think I would like a game that was like Pokemon Snap with real animals.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, like a hunting game, but instead you're taking pictures.
Yeah, I think that'd be a neat idea.
Now, I will say you can do that in the Hunter because there's a button to pull up the camera for like not photo mode, but like your dude literally like it gives you grids on your screen and you can take screenshots and stuff. So it can be played that way. You're not going to get any points or anything. But
Nate, I have a suggestion for a title for your game.
What?
Take only photos, leave only footprints.
Is that a game that exists?
No, it's a slogan for conservation.
Yeah. I don't know, it just sounded like you were probably trying to get on me because it already existed.
No, it wasn't a joke. I thought that was an actually good title. I was trying to help you, you great ingrateful
You're
fucker.
the programmer, you make it, and then you use that title.
Me and Nate will be your voice actors. Quack.
Meow.
Quack.
I'm
now
a bear. I'm a bear.
The yak. Oh, I love Ace Ventura 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, man. Electric Boogaloo. So, I got to tell you one thing that I've been up to. I dove back into Baldur's Gate 3.
Mm-hmm. Seen you on there a couple times.
And I've been playing that. I am on my way right now going into Act 3. I just wrapped up Act 2. There is so much that you can do in that game that you just don't think about. So in the most recent patch that they did, they added one new class for each of the different classes that you could have. The subclasses they added. So for Barbarian, which is what Karlach is, the new one that is Path of the Giants, which allows you that when she berserks, she grows a size for a limited time and everything. So I literally was in a fight with her.
Big Karlach! Gigantamax Karlach!
Yeah, I berserked with her, made her bigger, and I picked up a goblin and threw it off a cliff. And it was fucking glorious. Another thing that I did on accident and realized that I could do this is that somebody cast a poison thing on the ground and I threw water at it and it washed it away.
Huh.
And that just blew my mind. I was like, who the fuck thought to program that in there? It is legitimately like the closest I've played to like D&D in a video game because they just accounted for almost everything that you can think of and happened.
There's an old saying in NetHack development, which was just the dev team thinks of everything. That's what that made me think of, is the old NetHack interactions.
Am I the only one here that's played Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, unless that.
Yeah. It's on my want to, but probably won't get around to it till we do it for the show list.
It's daunting. It's a pretty big game, but dude, it really impressed me.
It's one of those things to me too that I'm worried that like I don't have that big of a background with D&D too, so like I'm like wondering that if it's going to have that same kind of level of impact on someone like me that's not a tabletop gamer.
I feel like the game lives and dies, especially for casual players, on how much you can end up connecting with the companions. Like, a lot of them are really beloved, and like one of the reasons people talk about the game so much is they're just like, man, Asterion is so hot.
Nate, you would fall in love with Karlach.
I do feel like you would like Karlach a lot.
She's like a demon tiefling chick. She's a barbarian, and she's always just like, fuck yeah, let's go kick some ass. And she just swings a big weapon. Like, she's the shit. I love her to death. I personally always wipe up Shadowheart, though I did bang the Gift Yankee girl and then had to apologize to Shadowheart for it, and she forgave me, luckily. But it's
Asterion is a very popular pick. As one person on Twitter once put it, he combines... No, it wasn't someone on Twitter, it was Drawfee. They said, he combines everything that people think is hot in a character. He's an elf, he's a vampire, he has Stewie Griffin's voice.
He does. He very much talks like that. and
I
honestly,
sent that to Chandra and it pissed her off. She's like, fuck you, Willie.
The voice actor who does him actually, like, there's a similarity in the way they look, honestly.
Between him and Asterion, or between him and Stewie Griffin?
But him and Asterion.
Okay.
He just looks more like a tattooed up like biker version of Asterion.
Kind of like how all the Yakuza lead devs look exactly like they're from Yakuza.
Dude, that transformation if you look at pictures of that dude, like before
when he was in
Yakuza,
Dragon or Monkey Ball, and then when he's
Yeah.
in Yakuza, yeah.
and then now he's like sitting on a throne with like 10 scantily clad women around him. Like, bruh, he's living up that Kiryu money. No, he's got that Akiyama money.
Yeah, Sky Finance.
He's Sky Finance.
Oh man, God, I love Akiyama. I don't know why he's just so nonchalant about everything. It's like, yeah, I'll lend you 1 billion yen. Sure, why not?
Just a cool dude.
But you have to prove to me you're not a dick. Tremendous.
I'm deleting a bunch of shit now so I can actually start downloading The Hunter later on tonight because I am curious to get into that.
Yeah, man, for sure. I do want to say, before I forget, this is the anniversary of the show. The thing's been around for 5 years, and I can't believe it. We have a question. It's a late question in our recording chat here from Sire Gears, and it is late on my question, but what was the very first episode? So, the very first episode of the show, let me give a little context. My buddy Ryan wanted to start a podcast, and I believe he wanted to start a wrestling podcast. And I was like, those are a dime a dozen. Let's try to think of something. Now, I also have started a wrestling podcast by now. So, yes, I have chipped in my dime to that dozen. But
Oh, yes. Yes, wrestling podcasts are a dime a dozen. Let's start a video game podcast instead.
So,
hold on. This is going to be different because it's going to have some 30-something-year-old white guys on it.
at the time, here was my thinking. I said, I have a lot of PC games, Ryan. I was like, I need a reason to play through them. I can give you family access, family share, library, whatever the fuck it's called on Steam. And I was like, and we can...
I mean, it's no more now, but it was the family share, I believe.
Yeah, I was like, we can do that and do some episodes about the games. He's like, yeah, man, sure. And I ran a randomizer for the games that I called Steamy. Originally, this show was going to have like an ARPG type thing attached to it where me and Ryan were stuck in the quote unquote the Steam machine. That's where the name came from. And we were going to try to parse our way out of it by defeating all these games. And that was going to be our way of defeating, ultimately, the final boss and escaping back into reality. Once the show was over and our backlog was finished.
There's a fine line between optimism and stupidity, my homie.
Yeah, well, I was young and dumb 5 years ago.
And full of thoughts.
And full of thoughts. And cum. And I just really...
But not mine.
wanted to, like, talk about video games because I loved them. So I ran the randomizer and I got Serious Sam the first encounter. So the first ever game for the Steam Machine podcast was a boomer shooter.
Man, no wonder I felt like home, and I didn't even get around to listening to them for quite a while. I mean, I listened to a few of the episodes before I made my first appearance, which was, of course, Doom 2. But that was after Nathan's first appearance, which he might want to reminisce about because he was kind of the connective tissue that really got me into your show, too.
Yeah, and let me briefly state that, and then I'll lead into that because me calling on Nate definitely kind of popped into it. So we started doing the show, doing some episodes. We played like games like Corpse Party, Blood Drive, which is apparently really popular on Spotify for some reason, and I don't understand why. And it got to the point where Ryan started getting really busy, and I could tell he was playing the games less and less, reading more and more off Wikipedia. And it got to the point where he was too busy to even come and record the show because, like, he started training to be a wrestler, which ended up turning into his referee career. He had just had another kid. Like, there was a lot going on in his life, so like I'd never faulted him for it. I started doing the episode solo, and Nate, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
that I did, and asked you to join me.
Well, so what had happened was this was while Ryan was still technically on the show. I bought you a copy of the game because I messaged you. I was like, hey, I'd really like to hear you and Ryan's take on this game. If I sent you a copy of this game, would you guys want to do it? And you're like, sure, man,
That's
go
right.
ahead. And so I sent him a copy of Hollow Knight on Steam. And then you invited me to come join on that episode, and it was towards the end of Ryan's time there. So Ryan ended up not being able to be on the episode, and it was just me and you, and that was like the first podcast I think you'd done with another host besides just Ryan.
Yeah, I think you may have been the first guest. I think
it's either me or that Doki Doki Literature Club episode.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it might have been Doki Doki with Chris. That was a whole clusterfuck. That was me and him both sitting like 3 feet away from each other talking into the same microphone, like 5 o'clock in the morning. he did me a solid that day. But yeah, and then from you coming on at Hollow Knight, not too long after that, Doom 2 came up, and you were like, "Hey, my brother's really into that game."
So was Doom 2 released first episode, or was King of Fighters?
It was. No, King of Fighters is the first one I did without you on it.
There we go. Okay. Because I was not trying to become as long of a time host as I was on the show. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do this one, so you guys handle it. And then for some reason, I just kind of roped myself back in and just kept coming and coming and coming. I just keep coming.
We like to think you'll still be back
coming
for
at the gym. Everywhere I'm going,
it's wonderful. I like to think you'll still be back for like Doom and Yakuza games, hopefully.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I'm definitely not done with the podcast entirely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here tonight, right? It's just I've gotten to be a much busier.
He says that and he's going to pull a Bud Dwyer at the end of the episode.
My God, really?
Jesus Christ!
Jeez. Oh, goddamn!
Hey man, has gone.
But yeah, like
he made a face like, "Are you sure you said that?"
That was a wild pull, dude.
And yet y'all picked it up, so
that not a reference I was expecting on the 5th anniversary show.
There's a reason I don't recommend this podcast to my friends and coworkers who I don't know very well.
But yeah, so like I'm not done with the podcast, but like you said, I've just gotten to be a busier and busier person, and so it's just hard to commit to playing the games. Like, I've promised Dalton that I would beat Persona 5, so me and him could do an episode on that, and I've made like 0 progress on that even since then.
It's funny, because I played, and I got a little bit ahead of you, and I was like, all right, I'm going to wait for Nate to catch up. And here I sit still waiting. And it's okay. Yeah. That's totally fine. What's the funniest part about that, and I'm going to call them out on it, yesterday, I got a DM from Adam. Who was like, "Hey man, I didn't want to bring it up in normal chat, just in case it was a touchy subject. But are we ever going to get a Persona 5 Royal episode?"
The answer to that, yes. The answer to when, who the fuck knows? I promise. But here's the thing:
so like, am I still waiting for Persona and Nating?
But see, here's the thing: like, I have something that I'm trying to get done. That I've been trying to get done since 2017, which is beat Dead Cells on 5 difficulty. Once that's done, then I'm probably going to end up playing Dark Souls in another game for the podcast.
Yeah. It'll happen
like,
eventually.
As soon as he beats Dead Cells, he's immediately going to go, I don't think I ever finished Hades at top heat before.
Oh God, I don't want to do that, no. I have a much bigger connection with Dead Cells than Hades, but I do...
Plus Hades 2 is coming out sooner
on Dark Souls
rather than
episode,
later,
but I do want to try to play that for
to
the show. I'm not sure when that one's coming up. And then maybe Dalton's upcoming host pick. I think I'm probably going to be on that one as well. So, and neither of those are very short games either. So,
yeah, that's fair. What was I about to say? No, where did it go? I think you have a little bit because we got my pick, Willie's pick, Metal Gear.
Okay.
My pick, Willie's pick, then Dark Souls. Now, in that time, there could be short games in there too. So
That's a lot. I didn't realize that. Man, we get way too far out in advance with the polls, and then it turns out needful because then we can't play Laser Disco Defense Unicorn Martian Ninjas or whatever.
That was the exact reason I do it the way that I do, was just in case of shit like that, because that used to happen to me and Ryan.
I think that's a good
call. Do you know how it's grinding in my head like, hey, I can start playing Dark Souls in 4 months?
You could start playing it now if you wanted. Like, I'm not going to...
Yeah, and then every time I'm playing it and not the game we're supposed to be playing, I'll feel guilty and I'll be sad. And my ADHD and depression and anxiety will chew at me.
But you'll be playing a game for the show eventually.
Yeah, I guess so. My conscience is going to eat. I can't sleep without it.
Yeah, so it was right around then that Ryan bailed on the show and these boys popped in. And the running joke was that Nate was the permanent guest host. Yep. And... yeah, and you know it's nice to still have you around, like, you know, because they're like, I've offered Ryan to come on the show since, haven't heard, like, he's too busy, like literally too busy. But you know, whenever games pop up and stuff, and you're still able to come on, it's always a good time to have you here. So I'll always feel welcome, my good sir. I guess is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I appreciate that for sure, man. And like, I know somebody asked me what time was there any bad blood with there. I was like, no, absolutely not. I was just busy. And I still am. Yeah. Like, I've got a lot going on.
And
I feel like if there was actual bad blood in the podcast, it would be a lot less likely that I'd be here acting very neutrally, because I would probably have picked a side by now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, if the bad blood was between us,
wanna...
though, Willie, and Dalton chose you, that could have...
That would be funny, yeah. I guess that does make sense. This is the Civil War podcast that breaks brothers apart.
Yeah, especially that third brother. Fuck you, Adam.
What intrigues me though about Persona 5 Royal is that I've been watching, and then you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about it in the group chat, but I've been watching dropped frames from the beginning, and I'm up into where they're doing their games of 2020 as they're going into 2021, and JP, who bounced off of the original Persona 5, played through Persona 5 Royal, and it was his game of the year. He said that the changes in Royal change everything.
It's interesting.
He was like, they were like, is the ending different than the first game? He's like, yep. And they're like, is it better? He's like, yep. So I'm very intrigued now, because I'm like, oh, it's when it gets to a point where all of a sudden I'm like, I don't remember this, because I remember playing through the beginning and just seeing a couple things in Royal that were different from what I remembered, and me being like, because I was like, it's like Senpai noticed me, except I noticed Senpai, if that makes any sense.
That's funny, because I thought Royal was one of those, like, a few things added here and there, an extra dungeon, some new music, and a couple new characters type of games.
Whole new story arc too. Like after the main game, there's a whole other semester that you play through.
Yeah, and the thing about Persona 5, like, and here's like, I guess a little bit spoiler for the episode we're eventually going to do on it, Dalton, is it's a very good game. I like it a lot, but the problem with it is like, it is very dense. Like, if you like visual novels, I would highly recommend Persona 5, because there's times where there's zero gameplay, but like 45 minutes of reading. Like, that's barely an exaggeration.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot of character building through the game and a slice of life stuff.
And there's like times where it's like, yeah, this is great. And then like, I'll sit down and play Persona 5 over the course of a couple days for like 15 hours. And then I'm done with it for 5 months.
Yeah.
Would you say, just to compare it to another Sega title, that Persona 5 is more visual novel-y than Mega Dimension Neptunia was?
Yes.
It's the same style.
So same style, but it's a lot denser. It's a lot meatier. There's like a lot more.
Oh yeah, because there's like relationship management and stuff like that too in the visual novel section, right? So it's like you put a Tokimeki memorial in my RPG.
It's slightly less visual novel than the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which is 95 visual novel and 5% weird little isometric running game.
It is also less visual novel than Higurashi for sure.
Which is 110% visual novel minus 10% gameplay.
I will say though, as far as like when the game opens up and you're allowed to go do different things, it's very much Yakuza-esque, except more just being able to choose who to go hang out with or maybe go fishing or something like that, instead of going to do karaoke or one of those types of things.
And there's times too, like there's the whole area called Mementos. Like when you finally need like a big break from doing all the reading stuff, you can go to Mementos and just fight for the hell of it for a good long while. So,
bro, cannot tell you how many times I've been trying for a certain persona, look up a guide how to make that persona, and then take my ass to Mementos for hours to farm this persona and this persona to combine to make this persona and that persona and then this other persona, combine those to make this persona that I need for my persona that I'm trying to get.
Wait, chocobo breeding in here, son?
Man, but like
in a way,
I haven't gotten that deep into Persona. I just like catch my personas, catch them like Pokemon, and then I do the fusions. Like I haven't done in the whole looking into a guide trying to maximize X, Y, Z or my personas. I'm just playing the game, so I'm sure whatever I'm doing is far, far, far from optimal, but.
I do love that my mental image of Personas, having never played any of the games, is it's like a 50-50 cross between Pokemons and stands.
Pretty much.
What's weird, though, to me is the mask pulling in Persona 5, where they rip their mask off for the first time, bothers me so much more than watching children put a pistol to their head and pull the trigger in Persona 3. Like, that doesn't bug me that bad, dude. But watching this person, like, struggle to yank this mask off their face and then they just rip it off and there's blood everywhere, it's like, oh, Jesus!
I am thou, thou art I.
With the birth of the Judgment Persona, this bond has been formed.
It's funny, though, that we mentioned Persona, because that was actually how I discovered the show. So I was a long time listener before I was ever a guest. And at the time, I was listening to a different podcast that was covering all the Shin Megami Tensei games. And it had ceased for like the reason that podcasts do. So I was keen for some more Atlas content. So I was searching through Spotify and Persona 4 Golden came up that you and Ryan had done. So pretty early episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was real early on.
And I just listened to the style and the banter and the stuff that you guys had going on, and I'm like, yeah, these are my people. So join the Discord from there.
I'm glad to hear that, man, because there were times when I could tell that Ryan hadn't played the game, so I was really relying on the fact that me and him were bros, and he could just listen to me talk about the game, and we could joke back and forth. You know what I mean?
When it comes to it, that sometimes it has to happen. That's basically what we did for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not proud of it, but I'll admit that I barely got an hour's worth of gameplay just because I was so fucking busy and so fucking tired from the new job and all of that, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, it happens, man.
And I think it was still a fine episode. I think we had a lot to talk about, even if I wasn't super knowledgeable on the game, just because at least we could draw to comparison to other works by the company and real life theme parks and all of that, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, the way I am about the show, for me personally, I am that way because I started it. You know what I mean? So it's like I make sure to get the time. Even when I was working with Coke and I was dead ass tired, my ass would make myself stay awake for an extra hour or two so I could get some gaming time in and then go to sleep and then wake up tired as fuck, drink some energy drinks, on to go. That's just me.
I know you didn't mean it this way, but man, saying like I was working with Coke and I just pushed myself for one more hour. You're from Florida, man.
Yeah, let me
People are going to get Scarface up in your face.
Coca-Cola.
I think
I would not.
I was gonna say, I just think that's kind of how the podcast goes. Sometimes there's just games that are hard to get into. Like, I'm looking at my Steam backlog, not backlog, but like my Steam category and see, like, I only put 62 minutes into Amnesia: The Dark Descent, and we did a full ass episode on that back in the day. So,
what was the double one that we did? Blazing Chrome. I know we finished the Mortuary System, but yeah, Blazing Chrome we bounced off. So
meanwhile, I went and played all of Blazing Chrome and loved it after you guys did the episode on it.
Man, fucking Mortuary Assistant, dude. That game did creepy right. Like it had some jank. Don't get me wrong, it had some jank, but like, there was something real eerie about that game, dude. Like for real. It had like, you remember when we first started playing Phasmophobia?
Yeah, man.
And it was just really creepy.
I miss that because like you can still get a couple of good spooks from Phasmophobia, but like it's not like it was when we first played it, and it makes me so sad.
Eventually you learn the rules, you know?
Here's two things that I want to do. One, I want us all to get in there and get a group going because they actually finally made the lighthouse, and I really want to check that out.
Several months ago, we still haven't done it.
I know.
Yeah.
Here's my other thing, right? This would be a good me, Nate, Willie, and Dave night because Willie, you don't have a VR headset.
No.
But Dave, Nate, and I, but all three do.
Oh.
So you could be our van guy for one round. And all three of us go in VR.
Oh, that'd be horrifying.
And have to deal with it and have you kind of... and then you come in and save us and if needed, obviously. But I want to just do one round of VR and see how that is because I feel like I may piss my pants.
That is a good point.
I mean, I would love to be a fly on the wall for you guys pissing your pants in VR. I've been told that it really does add a whole lot of scariness to the game. Nate, I think you've tried it like briefly but didn't go into it
I
very
did.
much.
Like, for some reason, I have trouble getting my Oculus Quest 2 connected to my PC, and like
the speakers did some weird fuckery too, and Phasmophobia already has some fuckery when you try to log into the game.
I'll try it again. I haven't tried to connect my headset to my PC in a while. I've just been playing Beat Saber directly on the headset. So,
man, I'm gonna start playing that because I need to start getting some more cardio in. And I really think Beat Saber would be a good one to do for, like, you know, play for an hour. Is. Like, really get the blood flowing.
Especially once you get up to the harder difficulty levels on that. Like, it gets you moving and the blood flowing for sure.
Yeah. I liked when you gave us that report card on all of the Metallica DLC. Like, we'll never pass this one. This one was fun. This is hell.
I have that and a couple other things on there. I lost access to Ragnarok because I don't have the little subscription service that they have anymore. But I really enjoyed that game while I played it. I need to buy it though because I bought a DLC for it because I really wanted to play Glory Hammer and stuff. I think it was, and they had some extra songs on there by them. Yeah. But that game was great too. But I want to play that now. I don't have that L desk that I had in here because I took that apart and moved it because my room's just not big enough for it. I just regaled myself to, fuck it. Like, I wasted money on this desk. Because when I was putting that desk together, my mom picked up a piece to hand it to me, and the legs snapped off of it. So, like, it was already broken and holding together with glue. Like, it's ridiculous. She felt so bad about it. She felt so bad. Because at the time, I got really mad for like 5 minutes. And then I was like, it's a piece of shit. What can you do? It's particle board.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But so now I have more room in here. I'm not going to smash my fucking knuckles on the table when I'm playing Ragnarok, because I did that multiple times, hitting drums and just being like, bam, ow, fuck. It's like when I played, is it Thrill of Boxing? I think it's the name of it or something like
Thrill
that.
to Fight?
Yeah, Thrill to Fight. That game's great, except I punched my monitor and was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, I know I don't have enough room. Like, I bought that game not realizing how much space it was going to take up. I'm like, I know I don't have enough room, even in my new office, to play it.
Bro, I figured it's going to lock me in a spot and I'm going to box with people, kind of like punch out. They give you the whole fucking ring. It's like, do I need to play this in my backyard? What the fuck?
See, I'm used to Punch Out, where I stand in one place and occasionally sway for a half of a second.
Oh, which, speaking of, dude, that boxing game looks so good.
Have you played the Wii Punch Out using a balance board and 2 sticks, or the 2 controllers, so you have like the full swaying and all? It's really fun that way. Yeah. I mean, it's still a video game control, so like you lean forward to throw upper punches, for instance, instead of punching up or punching down. But like, it is pretty immersive and sweaty. And I did prefer the 2-hand control to the NES control with the just Wiimote.
Nice.
There's something just a little bit more visceral about throwing the actual punches.
And real quick before we start talking more about games we've played throughout the years and stuff, before I forget, because I don't want to forget this, because I asked and asked and asked and asked and asked, and I got 2. So I want to read these out real quick. We got some write-ins from people. Shout out to the 80 people in our Discord. Thank you for the 2 write-ins. Appreciate it. Good fucking show out, guys. Love you all.
Salty Sam, now we're going to have 70 people in our Discord. Thanks, fucker. So
the first one reads, firstly, I want to congratulate you on 5 years of the Steam Machine podcast and the amazing community that's grown around it. I remember coming to you from the Factory Sealed pod when it was just you and Ryan, and I loved it immediately. While I've been listening over the years, I realized that you're the only friend that I've made since moving to Florida 12 years ago. And though life is kind of crazy when you're raising a family, you and the family are often in my thoughts. I recall that one of my first posts in the Discord was asking about you guys doing Final Fantasy Tactics for the show, and while it wasn't really feasible at the time, with the remake releasing on September 30th, you can bet your ass that I'll be bothering you about it again, and again, and again, and again. To you, Dalton, to Ryan, Nate, Willie, Paul, Dane, and everyone else in the TSMP family. Yes, even Jeff and Jeremy.
Those two are the villains. It's true.
If your name begins with a J, you're a heel.
I wanted to take this time to thank you all for the love and the laughs over the years. Keep on keeping on. Raise hell. Praise Dale. With much love and pride. Happy 5th anniversary from your boy, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
So yeah, man, shout out to you. And yeah, it's super cool that like he hits me up and he's like, yeah, I'm a listener and I live 40 minutes from you. I'm like, what? Bro, let's hang out. I need to have a barbecue and have him and the family over. That's what I need to do.
Oh, that's a sweet idea, dude.
And then the next one
seems cool. Isn't he the guy that gave you a bunch of like big box?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like
God damn. I should bring that up. Yeah. Brian has brought me
dude.
Brian has brought me like 2 or 3 boxes full of shit. Like,
gross.
I know, right? Just all kinds of different poo. He went to the zoo, gathered it from animals. It was wild. No, he's brought me like a Guitar Hero. No, I'm sorry, a Rock Band guitar, a Rock Band drum set. He gave me a box that had like a Genesis, some games in it. I've got some Nintendo 64 games from him. I have the Legend of Heroes on PSP from him.
Oh, wow.
I have a bunch of stuff that he's given me over the years. And it's literally, I've been like, please take money for this. And he's like, nah, man, it's just gonna go to waste in my house and my kids will mess it up. He's like, so you will at least like, keep it and appreciate it for what it is. And I absolutely do. My shelves don't look like it right now, but that's one of the reasons I want to clean these shelves up, because I've gotten so much cool stuff from him that I want to be able to like show off these games, So yeah, man, shout out to you, Brian. Hit me up. Let's have a barbecue, son. I'll make you some ribs. And if you don't eat pork, I'll make you some beef. And let me go ahead and say
done.
If he orders it well done, well, then he can politely but sternly take his ass home. Nah. I used to have a buddy of mine, Freddie, who would come over when we used to do monthly pay-per-view gatherings. All of my friends would come over and we'd watch the wrestling pay-per-views. He'd tell me, Dalton, I want you to take my burger, put it on first, and then I want you to take it off last. You got it, buddy. You want a hockey puck? I will give you a hockey puck. And
some people really like the char more than the juicy bit. I get it.
He didn't want. And in his words, I want no pink. Yeah, you got it, Freddie. You the man.
Ain't my way, but I get it. I get people having their own taste, and it's ground beef too. It's not like we're talking about a fancy, expensive steak here.
Yeah, and that was around the time too where Lenny, my buddy Lenny, I've mentioned a million times, started coming over, and every time I made him a burger, I made it slightly bigger because I was like, eventually, I'm going to make this motherfucker a burger that he can't finish. I never hit that point. I've told the story before, but again, everyone's podcast might be the first. This might be a weird first podcast for y'all, but I hope you enjoy it if it is. But Lenny, one time,
thanks for joining us in mid-victory lap.
I made him a burger that had to have been at least 3/4 of a pound. And my kitchen is like a square block, if you can imagine that. So I don't know. I'm 6 foot. I can take 2 to 3 steps, and I've walked through my entire kitchen. My kitchen table is right outside my kitchen. I got the burger. I put it on a plate. Lenny comes over. He goes, "Thanks, man." And when he sat down at the table, he was throwing the last bite of the burger into his mouth and setting down an empty plate.
Good Lord. You're going to have to put a basketball-sized burger on a bun for him, man.
I love Lenny. I haven't heard from him in a long time. I love him to death. I hope he's doing okay. He could put away food like no one else. I've told the story before, I think on Yav's Pod, where he, in the drive from the drive-thru by the McDonald's to the stop sign to taking a right and literally going by the next building on the road, he had eaten 2 whole sausage biscuits. And you got to have some beverage with that. I don't know how he got that down dry. I saw him eat a 6-pack of yogurt with a fork. So he was a wild dude.
Bro needs to go into competitive eating.
That's what I always told him. I said, dude, you could make some money doing competitive eating if you've ever thought about it. He's like, yeah, but that's for fat guys. Lenny, you are a fat guy.
Has he seen Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi and all those guys?
No,
the best competitors are freaking thin.
Listen.
He doesn't know shit. He just wants to talk.
I love Lenny, but you are giving him far more credit than he needs in that kind of thing. Here's what Lenny can tell you all about.
I'm such a fucking nerd. I'm over here like, what? Isn't he well versed on the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
Dude,
they have it every July the 4th.
Lenny is the name of a guy that pets rabbits too hard. I mean, let's just...
Yeah, exactly.
Just look at the rabbits. Leo, as I used to call him, Leo, because he's from Yonkers.
Bergs and Yonkers. I love when you get to do your Yonkers voice. Hell yeah, let's get some Leo from Yonkers.
He can't tell you about that kind of stuff, but he can tell you who's the top fighting game person in the fighting game world. He can tell you combos for people in Street Fighter. He can absolutely whip your dick in any fighting game you try to play him at. But other than the time that we were sitting playing D&D and me and Wes are trying to think of the name of when you study cryptids and things like that. And Lenny just goes, cryptozoology. And we look over at him, we're like, what? And he goes, hold on a second. And he cracked open a regular Coke, chugged the entire thing, slammed it down and said cryptozoology, and then just gave us the fucking definition for it. And we were like, Lenny, what the fuck was that? And he goes, I don't know.
You ever see that one episode of Pawn Stars where Chumley, who's the guy that's borderline stupid, all of a sudden that a pinball table or something comes through there and he can tell them everything about it?
Yeah.
He has this photographic dictionary memory of it. I feel like there's just people like that,
Yeah.
You ever run to people that have that whole sports almanac brain, for instance, where they might not know a lot about anything else, but you take them to trivia night and we get a sports category and you're like, oh, this guy knows exactly who the National League batting leader in 1986 was.
Yeah. In my brain, I think about Jim Cornette. You can ask him about who's a big pop star these days. He's not going to have any clue, but you ask him who was on top in 1976 in Tennessee for wrestling or whatever, and he's going to name the date that they won a title and how long they held it for, how many people, it's that kind of thing. It's people have very niche things that they know a lot about. So anyway,
meanwhile, I got one of them Jeopardy brains, so I memorize all of these completely pointless fun facts and trivia, but don't know how to live my life.
The other write-in that we got goes as follows.
Thanks again, Brian, by the way. Great write-in.
Yes, we love you, Brian. Here's the text version of what I was going to record originally. Hey, boys.
Hey.
So
it's my puzzles, not Mr. Puzzles. It's my puzzles. Sorry they wouldn't give me a day pass from rehab, but on the bright side, I get my 30-day sober chip this weekend, and they're going to cut me loose.
I love your North Carolina accent.
Jeff,
keep it going.
Jeff visited earlier, and he told me to tell you that Yakuza sucks. But we all know that that's just Coke.
Hey, yeah, because at least they still make Yakuza games.
Oh!
Zing! I was going to say Star Fox going to end up in a Yakuza game in the arcade, but that's not Sega. Never mind.
Might as well be. Nintendo
congrats.
doesn't remember making them.
Like funny animals, aren't those Sonic characters?
Well, Sega does what Nintendo don't. Congrats on 5 years, jokes aside. Thanks for giving me a chance to be myself on the show with you for these past couple years. If not, I probably would have never had the moxie to drag Jeff kicking and screaming with me to start our show. Parenthesis, which will eventually come back from hiatus, I promise. I love you guys from the bottom of my balls. Here's to another 5 years of awesome. That comes in from Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself.
Thank you, Dane. Last time I heard from you, I don't remember you quite sounding as much like a pitched up Sling Blade guy doing his Jeff Foxworthy impression, but, you know.
It ain't much, but
Like
it's
him,
an
French
honest
fried
day's
taters, the mustard. Mm-hmm.
I ain't kill nobody.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. That was a good movie.
I've seen that movie once, and I watched it so blindingly hungover that I cannot tell you anything about it.
I think I honestly know that movie more from our dad's impression of the main guy than from actually seeing any of the scenes
fair.
from it.
He does love that impression a lot. And I think my impression of Sling Blade is just my impression of Dad's impression of Sling Blade.
Yeah. It's like anyone doing a Christopher Walken. You're doing the SNL impression.
I want you to be Blade in the bedroom. You mishear that. And you're, give me some of that pussy. Oh, goodness gracious. So, Adam, you came in on Persona, you said.
As a listener, yeah.
Yeah, as a listener. What was the first episode that you guested on? I don't...
The one we don't talk about. Starfield.
That was your
Briefly.
first.
Oh my god, that took that long?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, scheduling
zones,
conflicts are kind of wild across the world.
Yep.
That's fair.
But I guess
That's
our first
wild.
real episode was Mass Effect.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, I can't believe it. It was that long before we got you on.
That is
Yep.
pretty crazy.
That baffles me. It's fun to me when I'm going through and looking at the episodes on Spotify because they also chronicle the thumbnails.
Yeah.
So it's like they change and it's so wild to me. But it also is like, am I looking at the right? Okay, yeah. So some of the episodes have the first thumbnail. Some of them have the second. Some of them have the third. Some of them have the new one. Spotify's all over the place right now. But what, boys, that since you guys joined me for so long and Willie, you're still on there, I'm curious as to what do you think is the worst game that we played? And Adam, what do you think is the worst game that we played from a listener's perspective?
From a person who played the game's perspective, I don't think me and Willie are going to argue with each other of which one was the worst. It was Blair Witch, man. That game was just so bad. It might not have been technically the worst, but everything it did to drag you into it, to make you keep playing it, didn't work. It was just a bad game. The writing was terrible. There's just nothing redeemable about that game. So, like, I don't think it was technically the worst game the show's ever done, but it was the worst game the show's ever done.
It was the kind of game that once you got pretty used to its specific flavor of bullshit, you're like, okay, so this dog that they brought in to be the best character is going to get hurt later on just to make me feel bad, right? And then it happens and you're like, yup.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Because the other games that we've done that are pretty bad, like I can think of that Rat Bridge game that I played was pretty bad. Dragon.
That's one of my least favorites.
A game about a dragon.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick.
It wasn't. Is it?
The thing about Dragon is we had a lot of criticism for it, but I really don't think it's a bad game. I just think it's just really obviously a new dev's first effort.
But
like it just really feels like it should have been released on a Flash portal.
That has so many of the sins that as a 2D platformer you can't do to be considered a good game. There's blind falls all over the place. There's mechanics that don't work well. It's a bad game.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is that... Oh, go ahead, Willie.
I just feel like it shouldn't have been a commercial release. If you put that for free on armorgames.com or something, I would have said, it's a little bit charming, but it's not great.
That's fair.
And I compare those to Blair Witch in the fact that, like, while those games are rough, they're still indie, like really indie titles. Like, they weren't a AA or a AAA studio. Whereas Blair Witch
is a
had
solid
some
AA
fucking
game.
money behind it because they were able to license Blair Witch to do it. And it just failed on so many levels that it was just very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
Although the irony, too, is if you ask me which developer would go on to make a better next game, I don't know what the Dragon guy went on to do, but apparently the Silent Hill remake was actually good, so what the hell, Bloober Team?
Yeah, from what I've heard, Bloober Team's good at doing, like, remakes.
Okay, so just don't let them write their own individual material.
Yeah.
I also have an honorable mention because I played this game along with you guys, and I don't think any of us ended up finishing it, being Plague Tale. There's nothing against the game itself or your guys' portrayal of the episode on that, but the fact that all of us had to watch YouTube to actually finish it, says something.
I think it was one of those things where it was written as... It wasn't written to be a video game. I feel like it would have been better suited to have the treatment that The Last of Us is having on HBO right now. Like, I think it would have been much better off as a TV series rather than a video game.
Yeah, 100%. That game and its sequel, they are visually stunning. Like, they do a lot in those games to make them look really good. But it just wasn't fun to play. Not
at all.
In my opinion.
It wasn't.
No.
But watching
to be fair, I think that they were going for it's not fun to play, kind of like Pathologic, where it's about a really unpleasant thing going on and all that. But that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But watching somebody play it was enjoyable because it was like, this story is gripping the shit out of me. I just can't force myself to get through it.
Yeah.
I also think that the cruelty was necessary for Pathologic too. Whereas I think that they could have made a fun game out of Plague Tale if they wanted to.
And another thing about the Plague Tale thing is, like, didn't in the end of it, it ended up getting weirdly supernatural out of nowhere?
Yeah, you fought like the weird demon pope, and you used like waves of rats, or he was using waves of rats, and you guys were, it was real odd.
Which is fine. It's just, I don't know. It was not my cup of tea. So I get where you're coming from on that one, Adam, for sure.
There are games that the reveals just make worse and worse. Like, I hated Outlast 2 where I stopped in it, and everything Dalton told me about Outlast 2 after I quit made it sound worse and worse.
I'm the one that gave Outlast 2 the treatment you gave Blair Witch Project. I sat there and powered through that entire game in one night.
Hey, aren't you happy you did? But you got to see some really cool things.
Ugh.
I mean, can you name another game that you've played where you watched a live birth? Because I'll never forget that message from you.
Yeah.
I bet it happens somewhere in Alien Isolation if you fuck up bad enough.
I just remember that just ding, and I look, just like, well, I never thought I'd witness a live birth in a video game, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? You're like, yep. Holy shit. Oh man. There's also a lot of games that we've done that I would like to go back and play again, just for a fresher eyes on them, and like especially some of the ones that I did where it was just me talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I feel like it'd be better to have somebody bounce some ideas off of. Adam, I know you can relate to that.
Yeah.
Can I run one more thing about Outlast 2 first?
Oh yeah.
I remember on the episode I was very much like, oh, this is kind of cool, but it's not for me, I guess. And I think I said something along the lines of, I guess I'm just not really all that interested in like the rural southern cult type thing. What the fuck was I talking about? I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Dusk is maybe my favorite game we've done for the show. I do love that kind of shit. I just hated it in Outlast 2.
Yeah.
And it just bums me out because Outlast 1 and Whistleblower are so terrifying, and then 2 just wasn't it. And then I hear that the Outlast Trials is really fucking good.
Yeah.
A few of them that I really would like to redo though. In particular, I snagged this on GOG recently, so I could make this easy on me and Willie both. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Yeah, because that one got a little bit of attention from us recently because GOG was publicizing that they're, making it easy to download and install mods, like the biggest and best mods, and one of the ones that they brought up was the unofficial patch for VTM Bloodlines. Yeah,
which is pretty much, if you look anywhere on the internet, required to play that game because of bugginess and stuff. So that'll make things real easy.
There's definitely games from your time before I was even on the show that I would like to see done again, what you did with Ryan, honestly, because like
Psychonauts is my biggest pick on that list.
Like, you guys did Arkham Asylum was one of the earliest episodes you ever did, and I love that game. I think it's fantastic, and your episode on it was 40 minutes long. We could do better.
Yeah. Definitely agree.
I think this was the first episode I listened to. Was the one that brought me into the show too. Is another one I would like to play. Was The Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have that installed right now on Epic because I got the Spacer's Choice Edition or whatever it is from Epic for free, and like that's got the DLC that I've never played. So I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And it's got a sequel that's announced, and I don't know if it's that long from now.
Because it's not like it's not something we've done, because we did the Talos Principle. We redid that one as a group, and that was one of the early episodes. And I also wonder if Fallout 4 was better than 3, because I could not get into 3 when we were doing 3.
Fallout 4 is very much more the shooting is a lot better in it. If that was your issue with 3. The story's a little different. There are people, it's definitely more first-person shooter style than it is pure RPG like the older Fallouts were. That's why I think people say that New Vegas is a good middle point, and that's why everyone loves that game so much. But yeah, Fallout 4 would be another one I'd like to go back to. Far Cry 4 is one that I think that was the first one I had to do by myself, and I just feel like that I could really we could do better on that. I cannot believe that I'm looking at these old episodes. Like, how are we only doing half an hour?
I don't know how you guys pulled that off.
Yeah, that wouldn't even fit the current format of the show. I don't think we could do a half-hour recording.
Planet Zoo is 32 minutes. That just blows my mind. Far Cry 4. Yeah, Far Cry 4, 23 minutes.
I mean, Doom 2, Willie's first episode we all did together was 52 minutes long. King of Fighters was 56 minutes. Like, Disney Hercules... 58 minutes. Like, these were all sub-hour episodes. Like, that has not happened in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since that has been the case. It looks like the last one, what's this? Doom 2016 was 57 minutes. So I don't know. I think this maybe it was before we started really just like bantering first.
Maybe.
Yeah, some of them might have had longer Patreon sections or something too.
That's also a possibility.
Because I think there was a time when it felt like we were shooting for like basically a short movie length instead of roughly 2 hours an episode.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't think 2 hours is a hard requirement. It's more along the lines of just where we end up a lot of the time. 2 to 2.5.
Me and Nate busted out Creepers in 47 minutes. But that was like a last minute thing that we just... And man, what a cool game for us to just randomly choose and play.
Of all the games you guys played, that episode has just the most feeling of delight at finding a hidden gem.
Ooh.
Like, I love that episode.
I found an episode that I want to go back and redo with you, Dalton. Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
Oh man, me and Willie were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, we were actually.
We really were. We're talking about going back and doing that. I'm like, I've never beaten Cyber Sleuth, and I also want to play the other game that's like the sister game to Cyber Sleuth that they come together packaged now.
Yep.
But our first almost 2 hour episode that I can see, other than when I had Hyperpixie on for Skyrim, you guys, well, I don't know if you were looking or not, but Willie, if you're not looking at it, you want to take a crack at what? I'll give you the timestamp. 1 hour, 46 minutes, 47 seconds. What do you think we were talking about?
1:46:46. And it sounds like it would have been around the same time frame as the last couple episodes we were talking about.
Yep. 2021.
Is this one of those ones where he got caught in a loop and kept saying the same thing over and over again? Like, could have been Manhattan Project, maybe?
No, but fun fact about Manhattan Project listeners, apparently that is our most popular episode on Spotify specifically. Don't know why. But Manhattan Project is the most listened to. No, that is not it. Would you like me to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to put my mouth on that.
Oh, yeah, because we had a lot of really mixed feelings about that game. Because on one hand, a lot of the puzzles didn't age well, but I felt like I was thinking about that game a lot. It really had a lot of character to it.
And then the next episode after that was Baldur's Gate 1, and I think that was just me, and it was 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was off of that one. I remember that.
And then we came back.
I never got time. I never had time to play that game, and I didn't even bother faking it. I just kind of messaged you like, dude, I didn't play it.
It looks like where we've really started going.
Because that's a game
2 hour episodes on a regular basis was for Yakuza 0.
That makes sense.
That makes sense to me because we definitely got into the habit of an hour after doing Full Throttle, and a little bit before that actually. And there's just a handful of them, like Paganitsu was 44 minutes.
Yeah, but Paganitsu was absolutely intended to be a throwaway episode to make space for Nathan not being up for the episode or something like that.
Yeah. And then,
I think we put that together 2 days before the actual show.
Snood is under an hour, but the fact that we got 57 minutes out of Snood is impressive.
I could do Snood in 10 seconds. Here's the Snood episode. It's Bust a Move or Puzzle Bobble, but with silly faces. It's good. Go play it. Yep. There's the episode.
Yep, that could be
Take it easy.
TikTok video. Willie TikTok reviews, 10-second TikTok reviews. But yeah, man, it's been fun, and the time for Steam Machine never really bothered me. Now, I will say there were times when we were doing Yabs Pod where I would just look at this 4.5 hour episode that I had to edit, and Jeremy would just be like, "Yeah, have fun with that," and then fuck off. It's like that got rough, but no, yeah, I think like Nate said, Yakuza we hit 2 hours, and then after that it's pretty solid, other than a handful.
Yeah.
Has another one that I want to redo. Let me go back real quick because there's one specifically, and I know if I see the name, it'll jog my memory. Oh man, Nights into Dreams, what a game!
That was one of my picks from back in the day.
Yeah. Bug Snacks.
Is it a bug or is it a snack?
I would really love to do Bug Snacks with you guys. And, well, actually, goddamn, there's like a handful of them right in a row that I would love to do with you guys. Bug Snacks, Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, Cuphead, and Psychonauts. Those games were all in a row. That's fucking
yeah,
brutal.
I would do all of those.
Yeah. Doki Doki's another one that I know Kana's pining for.
This is why you're never going to finish your backlog, Dalton, because you just want to free play the classics at this point.
I know, right? Or just going back and just redoing them all. I might every now and then just like make that the poll. 5 old episodes. Which one do you guys want us to redo instead of just doing 5 random ones? But we'll get to it eventually. We'll see. Oh man, what was? Do you think that like eventually the show will run out of games?
No.
And I mean, do you think that we're gonna die before or the show's?
Yes.
I think
we're not going to finish the backlog before we. Yeah, no, it's not.
Every video game podcast, will definitely die before we finish our backlogs.
Yeah, and I won't lie. There have been a handful of times that I've considered putting a bullet in the show just for one reason or another, and I never pulled the trigger on it. And now here we are at 5 years of doing it, and I can honestly say, and I don't know what this says about me, this is the longest I've done anything ever. I've never had a job for the same job for 5 years. I'm always changing. I've never had a relationship last this long. I've had some friendships that didn't even last this long. So, the fact that this is still around and we still have people that listen, granted, we don't quite get the listeners that we did at the peak of Podcastum when everybody was still at home and all of that, but like we get solid listens. Like it's never under a certain amount, which tells me that we have a core audience, and that, that warms my heart, man, because there's people out there that take time out of their day to listen to us bullshit about video games. And not only that, but you got people who donate to Patreon and stuff too. And it's like those people, I'm like, you give me money to listen to me talk about stupid shit. I appreciate the shit out of you for that. Yeah. And I don't know. I really have enjoyed doing the show, especially like with you boys and the lovely guests that we have, Adam, Dane, Jeff, anyone, even like, Paul Korn coming on every now and then. Like I would love to have him on again for a Yakuza game, like I think that would be great. It's been a hell of a ride, and there have been times where I have been like don't want to get the fuck out of bed depressed, and I pop on Discord and I can have a conversation with somebody in the Discord, not about what I'm going through, just about whatever, be it a funny meme or Kana posts a sexy picture of Monica. Or
she is one to do that,
or I can just jump into one of the DM chats and just have a chat about something, and it always helps pull me out of that. And having this as an outlet too, where like I don't have Yabspod really to go and like bitch about shit on anymore, and I try to keep that off of this, but still being able to come and talk with people. Because I don't have a lot of people in my hometown anymore that I hang out with. A lot of them became drug addicts and stuff, and that's just not my deal. Like I like my pot, and that's it. So human interaction other than just like my family is wonderful. So I really do appreciate you guys for that. And even though like we haven't really done as much like multiplayer gaming and things like that lately, I do still look forward to the times that we do get to do that. And I just appreciate you guys.
Oh yeah, man.
I have a very similar relationship with the Discord a lot of times. Is even if I don't do anything else that day, like if I don't have the energy to play fake pinball on my computer, I might get up, read this Discord chat, at least the host Discord chat, and sometimes the server too, and just like send a picture that makes me laugh, read a couple forum threads so I can kind of think about something else, and then go back to bed and watch, stupid YouTubes. But like even having that is a lot better than just nothing, just the being in bed part,
Yeah. And this Discord has blossomed so many beautiful things, like in my opinion. You know, we got like Spectre Approved with Adam and Fenny. We got Dan and Jess Media Dump. My love for wrestling spread from just Nate having to put up with me and Willie talking about, you know, getting 100 messages of me and Willie just talking about wrestling. How many times I can tell you that we've just gotten a screenshot from Nate with a huge number count on Discord and just being like, guys, what the fuck? Sorry, dude, we got really into a conversation. And it's never a problem. You're always just like, I'm impressed.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not reading all that.
I'm glad that happened for you, or I'm sorry anyway.
But you know, that's blossomed into, we got the wrestling show that we do, which is on a little hiatus right now because Dane's been having a lot that, you know, he's doing at the moment with family and stuff. And not only that, but like Kana's become a wrestling fan again. Willie, you pop in now and then and watch wrestling with us. Dane went from not being a fan to liking Roman Reigns because of Super Eye Patch Wolf to now I talk to him not on a daily basis, but like really often. Me and him are just having discussions about wrestling and wrestlers and yada yada. And I'm like, oh man, you got to watch this. You got to watch that.
I'm glad you guys ended up streaming the WWE and AAA Worlds Collide show, because I didn't end up watching it in the stream because it was already at the main event when I finally checked in. But I ended up kind of like live blogging it to you as I watched the VOD the other day. And man, a lot of those dudes are just really incredible.
Yeah, and things like that, you know. And I want to start trying to get together like maybe a game night. Or we play something, and I've even talked about once a month trying to do like a movie night, or we just watch a shitty old sci-fi movie or B movie, horror movie, something that we can just sit around, maybe have a beverage or a smoke, whatever your preference is, or nothing, and just make fun of it for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe we sit down and we all watch a movie that like, oh, we actually care about this. Like, let's not pick fun at it the whole time. But you know, this just. I want to try to get more interactivity going because I do enjoy the discourse and the conversation in our Discord, but I would really like to just start hanging out with people more. You know, we got a lot of lurkers that I would like to try to lure out of lurking to come say hello more often. So it'd be fun.
If you're a lurker, say something. We won't bite unless you say something really stupid and hateful or mean or crappy. But if you're just like dumb, I like dumb people. So
or
come hang out with us if you're dumb.
If you're a cheeseburger, I might bite you. Let me just say.
Yeah, Gears asks, am I a lurker? I mean, you
yes
probably
and no.
more so than not, but you're cool.
You chime in more than some people have that have joined the Discord and never said a word.
Yeah, you have like your own specific niches that you're in. You're not like server wide, but like you definitely have some contributions.
And we got people like Steph or Madokin Queen who will just pop in and be like, hey guys, you should play this. All right, love you, bye. Like, and then we don't hear from her again for like 6 months.
Is there any news about Silk Song?
Right.
Okay, no, bye.
Yeah, exactly. Which, man, I'm so torn on how to feel about Silk Song right now. And Nate, I'm sure you're right there with me, because during that Xbox thing, and they showed off that handheld Xbox, it 100% said Silk Song will be available to play day one on this console. And then they showed it like installed on there and everything. So I'm like, all right, what? So is it coming out this year? Is it not coming out this year? What the fuck's going on with it?
It is this year. It's just, I feel like they're really trying their hardest to not tell us the exact date until it gets closer. Like, it feels like they want to give us the date in an installment plan.
Yeah.
It looks like a super sweet system.
I'm just happy for people who are big fans of that it's finally going to come out. You know, it's like how I'm going to feel when Elder Scrolls 6 decides to come walking out and hopefully be better than Starfield.
Right. It's gotta be.
It's gotta be, but like, god damn it, I hope they don't like try to pull some weird shit with like, oh yeah, well you can mod the game, but it's gonna cost money.
I've been waiting for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 for like 4 years. I had on pre-order, then it got cancelled on me, then they're like, oh yeah, you can pre-order it now. So I'm like, alright, it'll come out eventually.
Pre-order, that is a wild word.
Yeah. Right?
Literally, when I was watching the Drop Frames Game of the Year episode I was talking about earlier, Zeke's most looking forward to game of 2021 was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And I just sitting here went, feel for you, bud, because that never happened. You poor bastard. Oh, man. So I know we've been going a while, guys, and we have a quiz to get to. Is there anything that else that you guys wanted to touch on or anything like that? I know I kind of like gave my little emotional piece, but...
I just wanted to shout out the Tech Talk channel. because Dane puts up with my stupid fucking questions all the time and gives me great answers.
You know the install wizard that certain software comes with? Dane is the real-life install wizard. He has troubleshooted so many of my hardware installation problems because I'm too stupid to install a video card without realizing you might need to reset the CMOS or something. And he has been steadily there with good answers the whole time and puts up with my baby Linux problems.
Yeah, I think he's helped me, he's helped you, he's helped Adam, he's helped Kana, Nate. Has he ever? I think he might even helped you before on just like maybe like a headphone issue or something. But like, he's like, he has so much knowledge about fixing computers and stuff. It's just so fucking helpful.
It's definitely a good show. I honestly just like shout out to the show in general because like being a host of the show, so you play a lot of games that I don't know that I ever would have actually gotten around to before. Like despite all of Paul Korn telling me how amazing the Yakuza series is for the last 10 years or so, I don't know that I ever would have played it had we not randomly drawn Yakuza 0 for the show. And now it's one of my favorite series of all time. I don't think I ever would...
The only way we would have gotten to the Yakuza series is if the other one started playing it first and told them how awesome it was. Because I feel like if either of us had sent the Majima introduction scene to the other one, then we would have been like, oh shit, this looks awesome.
And like other games too. Like I don't think I ever would have played No Man's Sky. I never would have played Nier Automata. I never would have played so many games that like are so foundationally awesome that I love now. And I wouldn't have played the crappy games too. So there's a little bit of this and that involved in it. But altogether, I've had like such a good time learning about games I hadn't played before. And yeah, just all that. And like the community and the Discord in general is just fantastic. Like we'll always shout them out for just being like, I intentionally check our Discord last every day because I want that to be the last thing that I have experienced in. So, like, I always have another thing to read in our Discord just because I enjoy it so much. And so, I don't know, man. I'm just a big fan of the show. Even if I'm not on it as much as I once was, I'm still a big fan.
Yeah, man.
And I've listened to every single episode of the show that I was not on.
And that is appreciated, my good sir. That you continue to lose some brain cells listening to us just because you love us.
Yep, lost my brain cells before I was on the show and after and during, so they're just gone.
He used to play offensive line, and man, he's used to having them shaken loose a little bit. He's waiting for the strongest brain cell to survive.
Yeah, man. Well, word up, gentlemen. Well, Willie, I didn't give you, like, did you have anything you wanted to say? Or we pretty much cover it? Or what we got, bud?
I feel like the two of you definitely covered everything I was thinking. You with your feedback to the community and the Discord. Nate with his appreciation for how the show's broadened our interests and all that. And yeah, Nate, I agree. I wouldn't have played some of these crappy games, but hey, you know, for every hashtag Tech Talk channel, there's a hashtag Dane's AI hell, you know?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I would have ever played like Trails in the Sky without it, like the show.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Definitely wouldn't. I'm really happy we played Nihon Falcom games for the show. They were amazing. Like I knew that the music was going to be good, but I didn't realize how much I would.
If it wasn't for this show.
Yeah.
And Mikolov, shout out.
For one thing, that's not what I thought Ys was. Like I didn't realize it was going to be that actiony and that fun to just straight up play. You know.
Yeah, and it was those games that like I knew Ys 8 was good because I played it on PS4. But like going back and playing other Ys games was very much a product of this show with me and Ryan playing Ys 7, which was a PSP game that then got released on PC.
Yeah.
And me being like, oh, okay, so this is really cool too. And then I went and got a couple more Ys games and I've dabbled in them and they're all rad.
But yeah, there's just a lot of games that I felt like I had missed out on playing, and even though I didn't finish them for the show, like things like Talos Principle and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, like those were games I wasn't probably going to get around to on my own ever, even though I knew I should, and having a little push just really helped.
For sure. Well, in classic Steam Machine fashion, boys, before we do the house cleaning and all that, we've got a quiz. Not just any kind of quiz. We have a bad translation quiz. Not just any kind of bad translation quiz. The biggest and the baddest of the translations of quizzes. I went and scrolled through all of the games that we had done and was like, let me see to put these together. And then I had an epiphany. If I had used one of these before in one of these translations that we've done before, it doesn't matter because it's not going to translate it the same. So,
that's true.
Without further ado, and you guys want to work together as a team?
Let's team it up. That works for you guys. Okay. I just shouted that out.
I'm cool with it.
No, yeah.
No, I'm down with cooperation.
I think it would have been funny had we had that whole conversation earlier about how just it's been so nice not doing competitive stuff and then being like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna win. Like, let's do this competitive. Like, but no,
people don't like playing trivia games with me.
They don't.
So teamwork.
No, it's true. It used to really piss off people in Game Buds, and I had to feel bad about it anytime I won. It's like, oh, Willie won Will of Unsustainable Consequences again. Whatever, fucking wow.
That did happen a lot.
Like, sorry, it's not my fault that I know what year Metallica's Black Album came out on.
94?
All right, so
You're probably right. You're right. You're right. I'm not. Anyway, the quiz.
Our
Why don't
first
you be 92 and we're both idiots?
our first bad translation, gentlemen. The atmosphere of Redacted goes back. Oh, wait, real quick. There is a gimmick with this quiz for some of them, not all of them, but for some of them, and I will tell you when it comes up. But there is a gimmick. All right. The atmosphere of Redacted goes back to Lycos. Fight monsters with Redacted in Redacted. In a chaotic world, things can go wrong and projects can die. Let's say you have a media player. Fenders. Take your bike to the next level with great bike equipment made from natural materials like fenders. The war with Redacted in Redacted was not just a waste of time. From music to games to animation, the world of Utah is full of interesting things.
I love this game.
The people of Laubum were happy to see him. Learn from a young MS expert, or make sure that your customers go to the bathroom on time. 100 words means 100 words.
What?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I grabbed a single thing out of that.
So
I can unredact one word that I know for a fact what it is, if need be. But
So
go
with
ahead.
all the talks about vehicles and fenders, at first I was thinking we were going back to that game, Full Throttle.
Full Throttle, maybe?
But it doesn't.
That was the closest thing I came to grasping anything, and I don't think
Was there a war?
I don't think
in
anything
the
else
prequel
supported
of
it.
Full Throttle? Full Throttle? Was it set on post-apocalyptic war setting or not?
This seems
Fallout?
vaguely post. The world of Utah. Where would Utah have been?
Quick hint. Utah, nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't know where the
like,
fuck Utah came from.
Fallout has some. I could see it being like Fallout 3 or Fallout 4.
I guess like we talked about music and stuff. You could be talking about how you
Yeah.
have radio and such. I mean, you meet like Three Dog. Is that the guy's name? Can we get it again? Because I really feel like
Borderlands?
we didn't get any actual.
I can.
Yeah,
would you like it again with one word,
That'd be good.
unredacted?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, yeah.
The atmosphere of the 80s goes back to Lycos. Fight monsters with Redacted in a chaotic world. Things can go wrong and projects
Is
can
this,
die. Let's.
I think I have it now. It's
I think
Far
I do too.
Cry.
But keep on going. Blood Dragon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Let's say you have a media player. Fenders. Take your bike to the next level with great bike equipment made from
I think
natural
it's just talking about
materials like
upgrading.
fenders.
It could just be talking about upgrading.
The war with Redacted was not just a waste of time. From music to games to animation, the world of Utah is full of interesting things. The people of Laubum were happy to see him. Learn from a young MS expert, or make sure that your customers go to the bathroom on time. 100 words means 100 words.
The customers part makes me think of some kind of sim, though, like Jurassic
I'm
Park.
back to lean towards Blood Dragon because because it's a game companion. Was there an anime with it as well?
There was a cartoon, yeah.
So,
There was a cartoon based on Blood Dragon that also had Rayman in it, right?
y'all debate this real quick. I'm going to go pee real quick. Y'all
Yeah, that actually is a very good point.
Yeah, I was actually about to try to start changing away from
Did
Blood
they ever do
Dragon. at that
Cyberpunk
point.
on the show?
No.
No, I didn't
Cyberpunk.
think so.
Because I feel like I would have been on that episode, and that means I would have played Cyberpunk, and I haven't done
You're
so
right.
yet.
You're right. Okay. 80s war. Yakuza
We're
Zero.
getting very 80s
the
vibes.
sim action
Oh,
between
Ooh.
because that takes place in the 80s.
there's a gang war. There's a gang war. Music
Gang
could have
war,
been karaoke.
Karaoke, the arcade
This is Yakuza 0.
for the video games.
I
And
think
because
we
there was
might
a
actually-
sim type
Yeah,
where you have customers coming into the cabaret club.
Yep.
Cabaret Club. Oh, you're so right. That's it.
Yep.
Dude, we've absolutely flipped the script. Now we believe it's Yakuza 0.
What makes you think that?
Because
ahead, Nick.
customers coming into the cabaret club takes place in the 80s. There's a war, the gang war.
use the bathroom could be attended to, like, you know, make sure you bring the towel and shit.
Between the Tojo clan and who was it in that one? Was it Triangle? No. But anyway, that's all of those kind of things were making us come to Yakuza 0. And the 80s eventually did click with us.
Yeah. Yeah, we got stuck on the 80s aesthetic thing for a little while, but yeah, Yakuza 0 is also extremely 80s.
All right. Here is the unbadly translated. The glitz, glamour, and unbridled decadence of the 80s are back in Yakuza 0. Fight like hell through Tokyo and Osaka with protagonist Kazuma Kiryu and series regular Goro Majima.
In Utah.
Etc., etc. Here's the thing, though.
Utah is Japan's Osaka.
I don't know where Utah came from because it says Kazuma Kiryu discover how he finds himself in a world where a simple debt collection goes wrong and his mark winds up murdered. Then suddenly step in the silver-toed shoes of Goro Majima and explore his quote-unquote normal life as the proprietor of a cabaret club. And then it goes on about the fighting stuff. Here's where bicycles comes in. Take combat up a notch by using environmental objects such as bicycles, signposts, and car doors for bone-crunching combos. There are tons of okay, so I'm skipping some, but there are tons of distractions to pursue in this richly detailed neon-lit world. Now remember, this is untranslated. Interact with colorful denizens of the red light district, helping a budding S&M dominatrix learn her profession, or ensuring that a street performer can make it to the bathroom in time.
Oh, okay.
There are 100 incredible stories to discover.
Yep.
100 words is 100 words.
I'm glad that y'all came to it, because when I don't know if you could tell, I'm in my head, I'm going, dude, y'all are so fucking close, but you were thinking about the wrong 80s game.
We did the wrong. We did 80s flavor.
Then I started putting it together
setting,
when
you know?
left.
Yeah, Nate got smart. He was because fucking Adam brought up there was a Blood Dragon cartoon, and then I started getting sold on Blood Dragon and almost was like locked in. Fucking Adam.
All right. Up next, Redacted is a first-person shooter game developed by Redacted, who lives in Europe, part of Redacted. In this Redacted, players can interact with, pick up, and expand open objects such as doors using Redacted.
Portal.
As players progress through the game, new features are added, such as interacting with dashboards and controlling mobile devices and home security cameras. Now, here's the first. Would you like your first gimmick?
Sure.
All right. So your help comes in from Cootsy Ballins, baby. This is the Jive Helper. So, Redacted be a blasting game, you dig? Dropping from Redacted in Europe, living it up on Jupiter's vibes, and this Jive players can vibe with, scoop up, and pop open stuff like doors with Redacted. As cats groove through the game, fresh features roll in, letting them mess with dashboards and run mobile gadgets and home cameras, you feel me?
Okay, first off, your Bootsy Collins has like 60% Dusty Rhodes energy, and I'm kind of for it. It's like a listless Dusty Rhodes. And also, I'm kind of thinking it was that puzzle game we did recently that takes place on the surface of Europa.
Okay.
I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. That's killing me.
What makes you think that?
Propping up doors and... it was a Turing test. The thing about propping up doors and hacking into cameras, it almost sounded like when I was talking about displays.
Okay. Nate,
I'm not 100% sold on that, though.
You guys never played Watch Dogs, did you?
No, that would have been a really, really good description for Watch Dogs, except that's not a first-person game, though.
Ah, true.
But as far as everything else goes, Watch Dogs really fit the bill.
I originally thought Portal, but I didn't play Turing Test, so I'm willing to go down that road.
Turing Test is very Portal-coded. Like, I swear to God, that game, they were thinking Portal the whole time, except with a lot of... It was Portal if they Talos Principled out a little bit more.
Yeah. It was Talos Principle gameplay, Portal aesthetic.
I'm down with that, because like the dash pads and stuff that were mentioned really make me think of Portal, which might have been Turing Testy 2. Turing Testy 2?
Turing Testy 2, the sequel. Turing Testies 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, go Turing Test. I'm down.
Okay.
Locking in Turing Test? All right.
Yep.
The Turing Test is a puzzle video game with gameplay experience from a first-person perspective. The player assumes the role of Ava Turing, an International Space Agency engineer working at a research station located on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons.
Nice.
So you are correct, my good sir.
Good job.
It was hacking the camera that got me there. Otherwise, I would not have been close. I was also thinking kind of a Portal thing.
That too.
Yep. Good call.
But I was right to think it was very Portal-coded, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, extremely. It is the most Portal-looking game you'll ever see that isn't Portal.
So earlier, Nate, in the DMs, when I said that there are some that I don't think that we'll get in a million years.
Is this just going to be spaghetti gibberish?
Here's one. I don't know how I got this. The Redacted is the story of Boob. Teddy is a handsome, proud athlete who talks, runs, jumps, swims, redacted, and carries a special bag to rescue Boob from Teddy's water. That's it. Good luck.
Croc?
Teddy is rescuing
Does Croc have a bag?
Boob. Gobbo's boobs.
Did he?
Boobs.
Gobbo, boob, boobo.
I feel like to answer your question, I feel like he did have a little backpack on.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
Hmm.
You just wanted to be Croc because he's from Australia, you little patriot, you.
I don't have...
It's Crash Bandicoot.
No. I don't have a better answer than Croc.
Honestly, I do kind of like Croc because I don't think we're getting any closer. I feel like
And I can see
this one is
Boob and
just a
Gobbo.
mess.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I can actually see where that would have
I'm
come
down,
from.
Croc.
Yeah, we'll Croc. We'll rock out with our
Locking in
Croc out.
Croc?
We're locking in our Crocs.
I am fucking amazed. Croc, the legend of the Goblins, with their heartwarming journey. Endearing, humble little crocodile equipped with only his iconic backpack and a wiggly butt.
Wow.
As he platforms his way across a series of unique worlds by running, jumping, climbing, swimming, and tail spinning. I had to cut out something that returned with tail spinning because I was like, that'll give it away. So that was one of the redacted things. To rescue his adopted family of Gobbos from the grasp of the evil sorcerer Baron Dante.
So each one of us have clutched out one of these so far. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, this is really good. Yeah.
You're fucking 3
Hell
for 3.
yeah, Adam.
Color me impressed with that one. When it came up Boob, I cackled like a child, bro.
That's what we do this for, baby. That's the shit.
All right, this next one does have a jive helper if you need it.
Okay.
See the world around you in a redacted area full of fluffy ducks. Starring as Redacted, who finds himself in a world of innocence and emotional scars where everything is there. The game opens up in a new world full of strange and sometimes evil creatures ruled by an unknown Redacted.
I'm kind of
that
getting
wasn't what I thought it
unfinished
was gonna
Swan
be.
from this.
Okay, that's where I was jumping into as well.
All right.
All right.
What were you thinking, Adam? You looked to get a
Psychonauts.
similarly strong plot.
Because isn't that about healing the emotional? I haven't played it,
Yes,
though.
and you do jump into new worlds. No,
But
that's,
isn't
I haven't
Unfinished
even-
Swan
that is all.
about ending up in a new world and going through emotional?
I haven't
Yes, it
listened to the
also is,
episode.
and the beginning of a bird in it too
Okay.
kind of made me think that Swan might have got translated as
Yeah.
duck.
Can we ask?
Like that's also
Can we ask if these
Yeah.
are only Nate and Willie episodes that are going to be on here, or
No, there are some, most of them, but there are some that were just
Okay.
me
And I wasn't on
me.
Gobbo's.
I think.
Like, Gobbo's Croc, so it's like...
Now, I will tell you, the other gimmick with the Jive Helper is that anytime I do the Jive Helper thing, one word has been unredacted.
I guess we'll take a jive helper then.
So, just so you guys know, that it may help, even though I'm doing a silly voice. Peep the scene all around in a redacted pad full of fluffy quackers.
Fluffy quackers.
I found a Jive translator. Oh, it's so funny. Starring as a boy getting lost in a realm full of pure vibes and heartache where all the funky stuff be popping, the game swings open a fresh groove, churning weird and sometimes shady beasts led by a mysterious redacted.
Okay, that's not... having multiple beasts being led, that's taking me away from
Yeah.
it. So that's making me think Adam's Psychonauts might be it.
Yeah, I do think that there's just not as much antagonists in Unfinished Swan. It's basically exploration only.
Okay.
I'm happy
Yeah,
with
let's
Psychonauts
go.
if that's what you want to go with.
Tension that is going to be cut by Truncate Silence. Explore a mysterious all-white landscape by splatting paint to reveal the world around you
You
in
son of a
the
bitch!
unfinished swan. As Monroe, a 10-year-old orphan, you follow a swan that stepped out of an unfinished painting and wandered off into a surreal, storybook-inspired kingdom.
Where did they get multiple beasts from? What was that line originally?
Each chapter brings surprises, new ways to explore the world, and a host of bizarre and sometimes dangerous creatures, and encounters with eccentric king who built his
Okay.
empire.
Oh, so king was the deleted word. That makes sense. That would have been a giveaway. Damn.
That's my bad.
That was
Good.
close. That was close. That was a 1A, 1B situation, and we went with the other one. That was as close as we could get without getting it.
Okay. This one also has a Jive Helper if you need it. Or as I'm going to call him now, Dusty Collins. The story
Not
of...
Bootsy Road.
Oh, Bootsy Roads is even better. Bootsy Roads, baby. Okay. The story of Morbid takes place in a small redacted on the River Gorgoroth, combines tradition with art and technology of the 20th century, giving it a lively atmosphere. The venue and the date of the tournament have not been officially announced, but according to interviews with players, the tournament will take place during the Redacted War.
What in the
Okay,
I know. This is another one that
there
I was like,
was a
what?
tournament that happened in a war-like time in Trails in the Sky.
I don't think they would lead with the tournament though. That's not like the
Yeah.
main plot point. But that is, I mean, you're honest. There was a tournament arc in there at least.
I also want to point out the word that it changed into Gorgoroth cracks me up because Gorgoroth's a black metal band.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that happened, but
That's the
I
only
chuckled.
thing I'm working on right now. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts.
There was sort of a tournament. There was sort of a tournament arc within Battle Chef Brigade, but I don't really think that the rest of that matches up at all.
Would you like the unredacted word?
Yes, please.
Or you know what
Yeah,
I mean,
go
like
ahead.
the helper. All right.
Yeah, let's get the over.
Yo, dig this tale about Morbid taking it down in some little joint on the Gorgoroth flow, mixing it up with old school vibes with a 20th century flair, keeping it fresh and lively, you feel me? The spot and time for the tourney ain't dropped yet, but the buzz from the players saying it's popping off during that wild Russian war, baby.
Russian.
Was there
Russian.
Russian?
I think this is one we weren't on, Nathan. I'm getting the strong hint that this might be before our time.
Is Mass Effect Russian?
No.
Mass Effect is in space.
Willie, I can tell you.
Pathologic
I was
is
gonna ask
somewhat
about
Slavic, but I
Pathologic
don't know
next.
if it. Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly Russian, but it's Slavic, which might have been translated to Russian. What were you got to say, Dalton?
You were on this episode.
I was on.
I
This.
think
It
it's
might be
Pathologic.
Pathologic then. But what is this about
I
a
don't know.
tournament though? Maybe it's like a play. Maybe there's like a play, but and there's a morbid world on a river. There is a river. Yeah, a river that's like famously like you can't even drink from it because it's like nasty.
I love this.
You guys got anything
I
better than
don't.
Pathologic too? Because
No.
the only other thing I could think of is if they may have did a Stalker game, but I would have been. He said I was on
Yeah.
it, and I wasn't on Stalker because I've never played a Stalker game before.
Fair. I'm good with Pathologic.
Yeah, same.
All right, then. Let's see what it is. And it is... Pathologic 2 takes place in a small town on the steppe, only referred to as the town on the Gorkon River, or simply the
Gorkon
town.
became Gorgoroth. Okay.
Honestly, with the rest of the definition, can't tell you where tournament came from.
Okay.
Culture and
Okay, so the
traditions.
tournament was a hallucination. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, sometimes it just does its thing. I don't know. All right, so...
Yeah, because I feel like that game takes place in something like Russia and also on the Mongolian steppe.
All right.
So maybe it was... Okay.
So,
That's
up
good.
next, we got... Oh my god. How do I pronounce this word?
Oh, I thought that was part of the thing.
Drecklerfelgade created Valkyrie and her friends from scratch. By the way, I redacted nothing from this one because I'm just confident. Drecklerfelgade, blah, 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 created Valkyrie and friends from scratch. Minori Amanahara is a special Valkyrie called Hybrid who can control her magic and travel with Peter's help. He defeats evil with his power and the motto,
Yeah.
do good in secret.
Good in secret.
Although he was sad that he could not save the other angels, Subaru used his new powers to bring peace to the world as the angel of destruction.
It sounds so fucky that I
Nier
want to think it's a
Automata.
fighting game. Oh, okay.
You said
He
that
did.
with confidence. I like it.
Yeah, there was enough confidence there that I'm like already like, well, what brings you to that?
Just from like the description of the girl and the little buddy and
Okay.
saving of angels.
Yeah, I see it. I'm
Okay.
down.
Okay, yeah, that thematically it all makes a lot of sense, yeah.
All right. Well,
It just really, really duffed up the names really good.
I'm not going to
which
read
it
the whole,
does.
the whole definition because it never once really says the name in the game, but it does have one giveaway. After its establishment, the Drexler Institute developed artificial Valkyries and Arcanus. Minori, yada, yada, yada.
I was
all
saying
the
this,
rest of
you
that.
bastards! This is Arc System Works. This is Love Max, right?
This is Arcana Hearts 3, Love Max, 6 stars,
Wow.
extend.
This was what I was leaning towards originally, and he said
Damn it.
Mir was so confident. Oh,
I'm
I was
just
going
going
to say, like, when we played,
you fucker! No, you got the Psychonauts one so hard that I want to listen to you though. So
would you imagine that game had that story?
No, right?
I didn't. All right. This one has a jive helper if you want.
okay.
Old Boosty Roads. Exercise 58. The hottest summer of the year begins in Redacted. Lunch and dinner were delicious.
You're right. That is a really hilarious phrase, Nate. I didn't even catch it.
We arrived in Redacted. All citizens Redacted is over 2,000. The worst in history. This is murder. I was shocked. I couldn't understand anything. He ran away one night. No, I don't want to offend anyone. I had no choice but to go, but I couldn't believe it. This is my only hope.
That was chaotic, yeah.
All right.
So I can...
Let's go Dusty Collins.
Again, all right.
I think we need Dusty Collins.
Yo, check it. Exercise 58.
Yo, listen up. There's a story.
The summer sizzling in Redacted. Chowed out on lunch and dinner. Finger licking good. We rolled up in Redacted. All peeps in this village hit over 2,000. Crazy times, man. The worst vibes in history. Straight up murder. I was flabbergasted. Couldn't catch a thing. Homie vanished one night, but no beef with nobody. Had to split. But ain't no way to believe it, man. This is my only glimmer of hope, though, you dig?
So someone vanished overnight or something in a town where something bad happened.
Diablo.
All right, we got to vote for Diablo.
Interesting. Do you have anything to back that up? Or?
Well, it centers around one person talking first person, and it all centers around one town where everything is going to hell.
Okay. I like that. That seems reasonable.
Or is it Higurashi? I don't know. Those are the two that...
I was thinking Higurashi and
Satoshi.
nothing really matched it.
Okay.
So, what are you going to go with, Diablo or Higurashi?
I'll let you boys decide.
I like Diablo.
Okay.
I like Diablo, but I'm not going to force it. What do you think, Adam?
Oh, jeez, don't leave it up to me. Yeah.
No, you're
I'm leaving it up to Nate. I'm leaving
it
it up to Nate. I'm going to let you make the other vote, though. Kind of like on Would I Lie to You or something. We'll both say something, and then Nathan will give the answer as the captain.
Will I lie to you?
All right, just go with Diablo, Dalton. Let's see where we go.
Higurashi was in the summer. They were always complaining about the heat and the cicadas. Satoshi went missing.
Okay, here's a question about Higurashi.
Oh.
Is it written in the first-person style?
It's like...
Then it's
yeah,
Higurashi.
actually. It actually would make a lot more sense for Higurashi to be first person than Diablo. Because Diablo is like a main character. Okay, we're going with Higurashi when they crack chapter 1.
Gosh. Okay. Yep.
The 58th year of Showa, early summer.
Japan, at least, we're good.
It's June, and the summer heat has arrived earlier than it does most years. By the day, there are crickets, and by night, there are cicadas.
Yep.
We are in Hinamizawa, a small village in the countryside, because the game is Higurashi.
The thing that
When
made
They
me
Cry.
think it was that
Chapter
was
one.
how the whole thing was read in first person.
Good catch. Good catch. Because immediately when you were like, it's Diablo, I was like, and then you were like, or Higurashi. I'm like, all right. All right. Up next. Redacted is a fighting game. Players attack enemies, hunting jade, exercise, fish, collect, and eat to collect vital signs. Just like Redacted, players can team up with other players in a variety of games. Players can travel the world and build houses. In the game, Redacted is divided into 4 parts. Prison, where the players turn into a machine, and the Ghost Fright Tale.
Not the Ghost Fright Tale.
And this one does have a helper if you end up needing it, because this is a absolute shit translation.
Would you believe that I was really convinced it was Monster Hunter World for like half of it?
I actually would believe that, yes.
Good, because I wouldn't. Why would I make that up?
Steamy Awards 2023.
The best fighting game we've ever done.
That would have been a good goof.
Yeah, let's get the helper.
All right, Dusty Collins. Yo, Redacted be a brawling jam. Players throw foes down, hunt for that jade, keep it moving, fishing, snacking, and vibe up to those life signs. Just like the anime, cats can link up with homies rolling through wild games. Players jet set the globe, building up their cribs, and in this game, Redacted is split into 4 funky parts. The joint, where you turn into a slick machine, and a ghostly fright fest, man.
Is there any way that this is Battle Chef?
Just like the anime?
It's anime styled.
It is a little anime styled.
Jade, I don't know, you're doing puzzle matching things, you're traveling the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they got prison from, but I don't think it's Yakuza 5, so...
Although it is divided into 4 parts.
Oh.
And it is a fighting game.
God.
If you call it. You might have accidentally just done it. One of the areas is a prison. Yeah, can we get it again? Either guy.
All right. I'll read you the Jive Helper in a normal voice.
Dead Jade.
Yo, Redacted be a brawling jam. Players throw down on foes, hunt for that jade, keep it moving, fishing, snacking to a vibe, up those life signs. Just like the anime, cats can link up with homies, rolling through the wild games. Players jet set the globe, building up their cribs. In the game, Redacted is split into 4 funky parts. The joint, where one can turn into a slick machine, and a ghostly fright fest man.
Did we ever do a dot hack game for this show?
No, but I would love to.
Okay. Building up the houses is throwing me now, though, because that did sound like it's a... Wait a second.
Was the real estate minigame in Yakuza 4? No, it wasn't.
That was in 0.
No. How many areas are there in Morrowind? Because you do start off in a jail, and you do get a house, I believe.
Don't know.
I'm going to be a quick helper. Was there a Morrowind anime? Because I'll tell you, I unredacted that word for a reason.
Yeah, I don't think there was a Yakuza.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. That's why I said dot hack. Maybe it's Digimon or
4?
something that we weren't on. Ooh.
There was a Persona 4 anime, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
How many other
I'm just
tie-ins could there
scrolling through
possibly
now.
be? Like the only other, like I said, the only anime tie-in I can think of we've done other than
There's a character
like that
named
would be
Jade in
Digimon,
Dragon
right?
Quest XI.
Dragon Quest, and there was Dragon Quest Legends of Dai as the anime.
It's drawn by Akira Toriyama, so it is like an anime. 4 areas of the world, though, I felt like it was a lot bigger than that.
It also said you do go to prison and
You do go to prison. You super go to prison very early
it's Dragon
on.
Quest XI.
It sounds so different. I feel like we've done Dragon Quest XI on one of these
Defer to
before,
your
and it didn't sound
expertise.
anything like this. But I think I like Dragon Quest XI.
Lock it
yeah.
in.
All right, locked in Dragon Quest 11. You guys are so
Aw.
close. You guys are so close. I will say, none of the three of you were on this
Okay.
episode.
Was it Digimon
Persona.
Sleepin'?
No, it was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a
Oh.
primarily action role-playing game with
That's what I
fighting
didn't think
elements,
of
fighting
it,
game
yeah.
elements.
I did straight up forgot we did that already.
And just to get rid of the confusion, I don't know where it got building up the house because there is no house building in that game, but the game is broken up into 4 storylines: the Saiyan Saga, the Frieza Saga, the Cell Saga, where players acquire their hover
the
car,
Cell Saga is the prison saga.
and the Boo Saga.
Got it.
Okay.
Ghost
That's
Fright.
funny. Okay.
I guess that took BUU and changed it to BOO, and then that just
Boo,
became
yeah.
other things. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So
That's
anyway,
really funny. I like that.
moving quickly on. Discover new worlds. Meet Redacted. Build ferocious cities and try to conquer the breathing world. This game shows you strong endurance to your friends. They build new castles and fight Redacted. Batter.
It sounds cool.
Batter up. Build castles. I feel like of all the strategy games we've played, we haven't really played like one of those like Paradox games type Chivalry Kings or whatever they're called.
Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor. Oh, I don't think that's it.
I'll give you
Just-
the Dusty
Okay.
Collins real quick.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Check out Fresh Realms. Chill with critters, craft wild cities, and snatch that living world. This game flexes your grit with their homies. They throw down new fortresses and tussle with beasts. And that's fly.
Is it Terraria? What do you guys think about the possibility of it being Terraria?
I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's quite Minecrafty, except it has a more of a linear plot development and more of a focus on combat.
I'm okay with Terraria. I don't have a good. Only thing that's popping in my head is Kingdoms of Amalur, but I don't.
Is No Man's Sky focused on the multiplayer, or do they focus more on the single player?
There's quite a lot of multiplayer. You join it with your friends, and you can build bases, which could easily have become castles. To such enough of an extent, conquer the breathing world or whatever could have been like, go through a living universe.
Breathing World could be.
yeah, that's
also
worth thinking
defeat
about.
The flesh wall.
Yeah, very much the way these translations go.
Stroke the furry
Man.
wall.
Can we hear it one more time, Dalton? Because I feel like you could make
Yeah.
a case for either of these, and I'm not sure where I'm leaning it.
Check out Fresh Realms, chill with critters, craft wild cities, and snatch that living world. This game flexes your grit to the homies. They throw down new fortresses and tussle with beasts. And that's fly.
There's taming beasts in both games.
And they're similar games in a lot of respect.
Yeah, this sucks. Damn, it really could easily be No Man's
And it
Sky.
could be something
easily
entirely
Terraria.
different.
It
And
could
Dalton's
be
just over there laughing at us.
exactly, because he keeps a pretty good blunt smoking poker face on this show. He did until I said that.
Keep my full Snoop going, yeah. Cool, calm, collected, and high.
I'm pretty sure when I
If you
said
two
that,
feel strongly about Terraria,
I feel
I'll-
like when I said what I said, Dalton winked at me, and so I don't think it's either game we're talking about. But I want to say Terraria. Terraria.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
We'll call it Terraria. I have a feeling it's a third game, and this is the first time we didn't successfully narrow it down to 2.
Welcome to a new world. Take on the role of a hunter and slay ferocious monsters in a living, breathing
Once on the
ecosystem,
world.
where you can use the landscapes and its diverse inhabitants to get the upper hand. hunt alone or in co-op with up to 3 friends and players, and use materials collected from fallen foes to craft new gear and take on bigger, badder beasts in Monster Hunter world.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. We weren't even thinking, and
I love when you guys get really like, you're just like, fuck yeah, it's this, let's go. And I'm just like, oh, you're so close.
I absolutely target locked on the base building thing, which turned out to be a hallucination.
All right. It's a game, not just a list of objectives to beat. There are many different paths to follow to achieve success. In fact, you can walk around ancient Redacted and find a variety of interesting things to do here and there.
That's all we get?
That's all you get. I can give you Dusty Collins if you want.
Okay.
Yo, it's a jam. It ain't just a checklist to crush, you dig? Many funky ways to rise to the top. You hear strolling around ancient Egypt. They'll find all kinds of wild shenanigans to get into left and right.
Ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt. That is really weird. Because, like, the only game I can remember having Egypt in it was Serious Sam, and that is absolutely not an open world game with a ton of objectives. Oh, we did Tomb Raider 2, though. Didn't that one take place in, like, China? And Venice and shit?
I feel like it took place in multiple places, and I wouldn't...
Yeah, no, it was kind of a James Bond movie. It may have had an Egyptian section. I'm positive the first game had Egypt in it, because, again, it's Indiana Jones. It's, you know...
That's where I'm leaning towards.
And if he's reading the description, he's probably reading the description from the Trilogy store page, which might include elements from the first game. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think if any other game we played takes place in Egypt at all. We didn't do Forewarned for the show.
God, I really want to, though. That game's cool.
I mean, it's mummy phasmophobia. It's you know from that phrase if you'll like it or not. Yeah.
It's either that or Super Noah's Ark 3D. So, and I don't think that was Egypt. So,
no, I think that was a boat, Nathan. I don't think Egypt was still around. It was kind of just the sea.
Adam, you got anything to chime in?
No, this one stumped me completely.
I think Tomb Raider is really as close as we're going to get, because, again, the only Egypt I can think of is Serious Sam. And I think that was also only the first game.
Yeah, lock it in.
Tomb Raider?
Mm-hmm. Tomb Raider Trilogy.
This is a genuine adventure, not just a series of levels to conquer. You can follow different routes to achieve winning the goal. In fact, Willie, you can finish Paganitsu and still have missed many of the game's intriguing situations and animated sequences, which carry you through the entire pyramid to a dramatic conclusion.
That's right. Paganitsu, it does, yeah. The first game took place in, like, Aztec or something, and the second release takes place in Egypt. Damn, I completely forgot about Paganitsu.
Yeah, I think the rest of the world did too.
I just don't think that would have come up for my brain, ever.
All right, next up. Thousands of people came unexpectedly.
Good for them.
Redacted came to Earth and discovered the most advanced technology. Don't try to talk to him because he won't reply to your messages. Attack him and destroy everything in his path. Redacted. Cars fly through the air and collide with new enemies that suddenly appear. Then everyone will attack you. What do you think about what you think about the world? You think about yourself.
What you say about his company is what you said about society. What the fuck are you talking about, Dalton?
This one doesn't have a helper either, I'm sorry.
Can we at least get an encore? Because I am lost.
Yeah, I can read it again. I can unredact the word, but it would totally give it away.
I don't know. Just play by your own rules.
Thousands of people came unexpectedly. So I'll change that to thousands of ships came unexpectedly. Redacted came to Earth and discovered the most advanced technology. Don't try to talk to him because he won't reply to your messages. Attack him and destroy everything in his path. Redacted cars fly through the air and collide with new enemies that suddenly appear. Then everyone will attack you. What you think about the world, you think about yourself.
I really do feel like that introduction sounds a lot like Free Space 2.
Sure. I'm down.
Yep.
Free Space 2.
Wow, that was the fastest agreement I ever got for having no fucking justification for what I said whatsoever. It was a wave of silent attackers, so that is Free Space 2's story. Wait, we didn't do Free Space 2, we did Free Space 1. And it's worse in Free Space 1 because they actually reach Earth in Free Space 1.
Yeah,
Free Space 2 doesn't take place on Earth.
Space.
Yeah, Free Space 1. Descent Free Space.
I was going to give you the point either way. They arrived by the thousands suddenly and without warning. The heartless Shivans emerged through subspace near Earth, harboring technology light years ahead of anything you'd seen before in for Descent Free Space. Good job. All right. You manage a group of smart people called employees, quote unquote.
Yeah, right.
They travel together and use their knowledge to help each other on their journey. Little Redacted live in a beautiful and happy world, trying to save the world and bring happiness to the dead Redacted.
So you have a group of quote employees.
Graveyard keepers.
Is Kerbal
I'm
Space
thinking that had-
Program? Do you control more than one character in that?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, you can have multiple pilots on one ship, but
No,
I feel like you don't really directly control the
All right.
Kerbals except for on EVA. Also, don't know what that part about bringing
Graveyard
to the
keeper.
dead is, but yeah, that's kind of where the dead made me think Graveyard Keeper, and I don't think that's right.
This doesn't have
You
a
gotta
helper, but I can give you the redacted word after dead if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's bring happiness to the dead forest.
Oh, Ori and the Blind Forest?
Ori?
Oh.
Yep.
Where did employees come
Who
from,
knows?
though?
The little
But what if
That's
it's your
a good
the little
definition.
collectibles you grab, little orbs you grab while you're waiting through.
I'm going to let you enter Ori and protest, and
Okay,
I think it's
Ori.
actually Yoku.
Okay, so we're going.
Yep.
You guys are going saying Ori.
Yep.
Take control of 5 cute mystical creatures of miniature proportions called Creevers. Creevers always travel in pairs, and they must use their special
Employees?
abilities to help each other solve interesting platforming puzzles set in a beautiful world of phosphorescent colors. That's a great word, phosphorescent.
It's a great word to describe that game.
These tiny creatures journey to save their homeland and restore light to their dying forest.
Damn, we had 3 games about a dying forest, and we named the other 2.
I knew when I made this, they're going to guess Ori for this. Like, I knew it. I knew it. All right. Spooning right along. There's only a few left. The Redacted is part of a larger continent that not only offers beautiful scenery, but also 3D dungeons. Discover yourself and avoid unexpected dangers. The best way to defeat powerful pirates is to explore the overwhelming world and discover its secrets. The battle with Elton John is not difficult, but you must avoid his attacks and take damage to win. Use magic to get the most out of Redacted. This does have a jive helper.
Is it Elton John?
I don't know how to read like Elton John.
Let's see.
Yo, the millions grooving the continent so
No,
fly.
no, Elton John. No, Elton John.
Yo, the Midlands groove in the continent so fly. It's got them fine views and 3D dungeons. Oh my. Find your flow and dodge them sneaky traps, yo. Find the way to take down them gnarly pirates. Just vibe in the vast scene and uncover their maps. Dancing with Elton John ain't too tough. Just sidestep his jabs and keep your stuff. Bring the magic,
That's
let
right.
it loose, and pop with the jewels. Let it jive to the groove. No excuse.
Do we have any games we can think of where you go after pirate treasure?
And scrolling through the list before, which I don't know if it's allowed. Sorry if it's
I've been
not.
doing it the whole time. It's Sid Meier's Pirates.
Sid Meier's Pirates. Yeah.
We're going there.
Okay.
Sid Meier's Pirates.
I would love to know what Elton John was, though.
Long John Silver.
Long John Silver, you're right. It is totally pirates.
Oh, boys. You should have really focused on that word Midlands.
Texas.
Oh.
Because the lands between are a part of a vast continent where magnificent open fields and huge dungeons with complex and 3-dimensional designs are seamlessly connected.
How the fuck is Elton John?
Elden Lord.
Oh, that is brutal. That makes so much sense.
I'm thinking Lord John, because John 3:16. That's how I got the connection between that. And then Elden to Elton, I figured it just...
Elton
I
makes
don't know.
sense, yeah.
Elden John, it probably was like, oh, this is probably supposed to be this. Fuck if I know. Yeah, Elden Ring. All right. Help the
I
maid.
love Elton's ring.
Help the maid build Redacted to defeat the devil. Discover hundreds of amazing photos and discover the secrets of handmade challenges.
Discover the secret of handmade challenge. Did the maid defeat the devil?
There is a
Cuphead.
Dusty Collins.
Cuphead.
You say Cuphead?
I think the hand design challenges is actually something about hand drawn art. I think the devil is actually the final boss in Cuphead. I'd like to hear the Bootsy Collins though.
All right. Yo, help the Groove Queen whip up that mountain to smack the devil, man. Dive into a treasure trove of fly picks and uncover the tricks of them handmade hustles, you dig?
I don't know what you uncensored there. Queen, I guess.
Can we get it one more time? Sorry.
Yeah. Yo, help the Groove Queen whip up that mountain to smack the devil, man. Dive into a treasure trove of fly picks and uncover the tricks of them handmade hustles, you dig?
I feel like Fly Pix is totally like immersive graphics or amazing graphics or something like that, and I'm really thinking it's Cupheady.
Okay. I won't say mine because I don't want to dissuade you. Because it was
No,
only
where are you thinking?
up the mountain. That just made me think Celeste.
Celeste does go up a mountain,
But that's the only...
and there's also a mountain that's a short hike, but I don't feel like it made much sense for anything else. I also feel like Celeste feels like it would have talked about more of the other characters.
Okay.
Like, I get the impression this feels like
then.
a lonely. This feels like a pretty lonely journey.
I'll support
You
Cuphead.
going Cuphead?
Mm.
And since Nate's away, we'll go ahead and just do this one. Help Madeline survive her inner demons on the journey to the top of Celeste Mountain.
Now I'm the bastard.
In this super tight platformer, from the creators of Towerfall, brave hundreds of handcrafted challenges, uncover devious secrets, and piece together the mystery of the mountain.
Damn it.
All right. 8 years later, Redacted is back with a new one. A snake wakes up on an attractive island. The snake and his friends came to a quiet island where monsters and Redacted were hidden. During the journey, Eden gets closer to a mysterious Redacted with curly hair who lives in an unknown continent. Redacted, Dairy... Oh my god, I forgot about this one. Redacted, Dairy Cream Udder discovers the secret of their creamy and ugly island with green wings.
I don't know what have you said to me?
Dairy Creamy Udder discovers the secrets of their creamy
They're creamy.
an ugly island of green wings.
What?
Okay. The Dusty Collins for this one.
Yeah, hold on. Let him get his headphones back on.
The Dusty Collins.
Nate, we just missed Celeste. I'm sad.
8 years gone by. Old Red rockin' with something fresh. A slithering snake wakes up on a fly island. Him and his crew hit up a hush-hush spot where beasts and Redacted be lurking. On the groove, Eden gets tight with a funky girl sporting curly locks living in some wild continent. Redacted Dairy Creamy Udder peeps the scope on their creamy and ugly island sporting green wings, baby.
I think that's Ease 8. Can we get it in, like, Earth English again?
Yeah. 8 years later, Redacted is back with a new one. A snake wakes up on an attractive island. The snake and his friends came to an island where monsters and Redacted were hidden. During the journey, Eden gets closer to a mysterious Redacted with curly hair who lives on an unknown continent. Redacted Dairy Creamy Udder discovers the secrets of their creamy and ugly island of green wings.
How many games have we played where you wake up on an island?
I don't know. That's making me think Snake Pass because it talks about a snake.
I
And
feel like that must be a
8
red
years
herring,
later,
but
being confused with number 8.
Yeah.
8 all meeting Dana.
Donna, yeah. That's where I'm up to. I don't know.
Y'all going Ease 8?
Looks like it.
Yeah. All right.
Nate nodded without a lot of confidence, but he did nod.
Ease returns for a brand new adventure for the first time in 8 years. 8 awakens shipwrecked on a stranded island, on a stranded cursed island. And there he and the shipwreck pesters, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the story of Ease 8 Lacrimosa of Donna.
It's a good one.
Nice.
All right, we're coming down to the wire, I believe. I know I said a handful earlier and I was wrong, but there's only a handful left now. Redacted is a unique shot that combines weapons and strategy. You can use a variety of weapons, from simple guns to grenades and explosives, and even modify Redacted to create formidable weapons. Players must prove their worth to the whole world. Functional plasma, and destroy the enemies underwater with lightning bolts, and destroy them with spears. No two players are the same. No two players are the same.
Neon Abyss.
You said Neon Abyss?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got a hint for this or anything? Or
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was waiting for Adam to say something. I thought he was about to, but he didn't. Okay, so, yo, check it. Redacted be one of a kind. Blast, mixing firepower and brain work, you dig? You got mad choices, from chili poppers to banging boomsticks with wild explosions, and even twisting plasma to create some wicked heat. Players gotta show they chops. Zap those foes underwater with electric shocks. Skewer them with spears, too. Ain't no two players alike. No way, no siree.
I think it's got to be a roguelike,
sound
right?
a lot
Yeah.
like Neon Abyss.
Okay, sounds like we're going for it then.
Neon Abyss locked in. BioShock is a shooter unlike any that you have ever played, loaded with weapons, tactics, and that have never been seen.
I thought underwater was a red herring there, not the operative word.
It's okay. I think you guys will get this one, even though this one's a little weird. The Great Traveler has returned. When the Earth Empire destroyed the Earth, Redacted returned to heaven. The Redacted of this country knows it is doomed without you. Yo, the Fly Traveler done swung back. When that Earth Empire crumbled to the ground, Cosmo got back to the sky. The kings and all them big shots know it's messed up without your groove, baby.
Oh, man. I have no idea.
Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah.
Locked in. The Stop It Nothing pushing prince is back and ready to
Nice.
re-roll. When the
Nice.
king of all cosmos accidentally rolls and destroys the sky, he orders you to fix it. Yes, sir. So, let's see, I can skip that.
I feel like the king...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the king was a bit of a giveaway.
Scarves are very popular this season. Try and stop them.
Oh yeah.
This game has been very popular since the 1900s. Your goal was to save and protect others. When redacted are connected, the game is over. The package can be stored safely. Don't waste time, because the more you use redacted, the easier it will be to master it. Baby Snot is designed for children from 2 to 102 years old. Forget life, idiot.
This sounds like what I would just make as a game description. This would be my Steam store description for sure.
Yeah, this was
2
definitely.
to 200.
I'm gonna read the jive. This was my favorite jive one.
This one sounds like it might be
rage.
some kind of like board game or something, like some kind of really family, anyone can play, easy to play, hard to master type game.
Scars be all the rage, you dig? Can't put a stop to that vibe. This here game's been kicking since the 1900s, you feel me? Your mission is to keep your peeps safe, you dig? When 3 link up, the game ends, man. Keep the package snug like a bug. Don't be slacking, because the more you flex combos, the slicker you get at it, baby. Baby Snot's for little ones. 2 to 102, you know? Let go of life, you jive turkey.
I think it's Snood. I think Snood became Snot. That's exactly where my brain just went. Get 3 in a row, yeah.
Snood is one of the most popular puzzle games of all time. You are correct. All right, so I'll do one more, and then I'll do my the one for the next episode, and then we can do wrap-ups and get on out of here.
Alrighty.
The Special Redacted is a unique single-player game, a mix of cyberpunk, science fiction, and advanced technology. The game is set in a world where magic and the supernatural meet. Redacted will travel to fictional worlds such as Redacted and various planets, meeting strange characters on his way to this magical land.
Kind of Kingdom Hearts for a little bit.
Might have not
there.
been the best one to pick for the last one, but go ahead.
It was kind of Kingdom's Hearting for a minute for me. What do you guys? I'm not married to that at all. It's just my first instinct.
Redacted be a solo ride, mixing cyber vibes, tech whiz, and dark magic with some crazy powers. Meanface gonna cruise to Africa, y'all, and then fly them old planets you'd meet, and cool cats and pals ready to lift your heavy mind, you dig?
I think this one's serious, Sam.
Oh, I could see that.
I believe that one starts off on Earth and then goes to other planets.
Yeah.
Serious Sam? Serious Sam, the first encounter.
Yep.
Is a high adrenaline arcade action shooter heavily focused on the frantic arcade style single player action in a world where cyberpunk meets fantasy fiction.
So that was actually a pretty good translation. It was just confusing because of the sentence structure.
All right, we got to do this one, and then I'll do my final one. I promise. This is the last one. I promise. Redacted is one of the greatest video games of all time. In this
We
game,
already did Snood.
players control weapons like children, explore a world full of cities, and redacted, solve various problems to progress through the story. This country is full of danger. Players can kill, control, or defeat enemies. Players' choices affect the strategy and structure of the game, and their role determines the course of the golf.
I feel like you told us very little. Most of that was it's a
The
video
greatest
game.
game of all time, though.
True.
Yo, Redacted flips into a Space Jam where you snag blinging capes and groove with stories. In Redacted, the crew struts across lava-loving spaghetti bridges and wild twisted halls of doom. You gotta dodge those fierce critters like they're slippery grease. You roll the cosmic dice to see if you're gonna link up with a twice-mixed honey. Players' vibes sprinkle that pixie dust on the highs or lows of this funky ride, calling the zany end of this nutsy journey.
I feel like the game calling itself the greatest of all time might be like a joke, and it's some game that's kind of tongue-in-cheek about
Duke
itself,
Nukem
like the Outer
Forever.
Worlds. I'm going to beat you to death with a sack of dicks.
Why? Because that doesn't sound like the game that would call itself the greatest game ever.
Man, it sucks, but I remember that we did do Duke Nukem Forever during a bad translation quiz once, and it got weirdly religious. Like, it kept referring to Duke Nukem as the Lord.
The Lord, because he was the Duke.
But it's a completely different translator he's using this time, so I don't see why it couldn't be Duke.
I will give you this hint. If it pulled that sentence, it was from Internet Zeitgeist, not what I had put in for it to translate.
So it's actually one of the best games of all time. It's definitely not Duke Nukem. It's probably not Outer Worlds.
I'll read it to you one more time. Redacted is one of the greatest video games of all time. In this game, players control weapons like children, explore a world full of cities, and redacted, solve various problems to progress through the story. The country is full of danger. Players can kill, control, or defeat enemies. Players' choices affect the strategy and structure of the game, and their role determines the course of the golf.
Chrono Trigger.
Mass Effect?
Yeah, I was leaning more towards Mass Effect.
Yeah, 2 Mass Effects. They have it.
Sweet. Mass Effect? Oh, boys. I hate to end on a downer, but Undertale is a role-playing game that uses a top-down perspective. And in the game, the player controls a child and completes objectives in order to progress through the story.
Control that translation's really interesting, what they came up with there.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
wow.
This final one is my announcement of my next game, much like I did the last time we did this. And I believe only one of you don't know what this is. So
yes, sometimes these cats already know, and I forgot.
This is for Willie. It was for Willie and Dane, but Dane couldn't make it. Shout out to Dane. Much love, homie. In Redacted finds himself abandoning his family as he investigates various Redacted, even the smallest ones. An old man who's been imprisoned for 3 years finds his Redacted in the psychiatric hospital where he works. Redacted was on his way home, but on the way he was hit by a car and it ran away. To make matters worse, the team discovers that Redacted is pregnant. He travels to the Redacted to discover the truth about the secret that saved Redacted's son from the Redacted.
Is that Yakuza? Who's pregnant? It better not be Haruka. I will kill somebody.
Oh.
In Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, Kazuma Kiryu will find out exactly how much people are willing to sacrifice for family, be it those ties through blood or bond, when he investigates a series of shadowy events that involves the ones he holds closest to his heart. Fresh out of a 3-year prison sentence, an old and weathered Kiryu comes home to find out that his surrogate daughter, Haruka, has gone missing from the orphanage that he looks after. The trail leads him to his old stomping grounds in Kamurocho, where he discovers that she's been struck by a car and now lies in a coma.
Oh, shit.
To make matters worse, Kiryu learns that Haruka now has a son that he must look after.
What?
With baby in hand.
He was gone for 3 years.
With baby in hand, Kiryu journeys to the seaside town of Onamichi, Hiroshima, to unravel the truth about Haruka, her son, and a sinister secret that Hiroshima Yakuza are harboring. Dun 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 dun! So, couple things.
Cool, we got a new city. Hell yeah.
1, absolutely, yes, there is a new city. 2, none of that is a spoiler, I promise. Well, it kind of is, but all of that happens within the first chapter.
Yeah,
it is all that's your plot dump in the beginning, and then it's like, okay, welcome to the rest of it. 3, it's the last Kiryu story, man.
Yeah, this is the end of the life and times of Kiryu.
This is the final Kiryu story, and after this, we move on to Ichiban. Though I told Willie, I said, before we get to the turn-based ones, I do think we ought to throw Sleeping Dogs in there, because it's like the Yakuza, but in the triad, dealing with the triad. So, I think that would be cool. And then jump into Ichiban and stuff like that. And then eventually one day, I'm sure we'll do Ishin and all of that.
Yeah.
But, Nate, I know you got to go.
Sure,
Thank you for joining us, buddy. We love you. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. But dude, I am so hyped to be at the end of Yakuza. You know what I'm saying? We made it, dog.
We're about to enter the Like a Dragon's time frame, the Ichiban series, the turn-based RPGs.
It's wonderful. I can't wait, dude. And I'm very excited for that. And I hope you all are too. Thank you for celebrating the 5-year anniversary with us. It's wild to me that I stuck with this long. I'm proud of myself, to be honest with you. So let's do some housekeeping. Oh, go ahead, brother.
As a programming note, well, this is housekeeping. As a programming note, we have been considering moving back to a bi-weekly schedule, and we may need a short game or something for the Yakuza 6 episode. We have not yet decided whether we want to go back-to-back or how we're going to do it, basically. If we're going to do a 2-parter or what.
I think we're going to do a short game in between, but I'd like to do it. I'd like to bi-weekly it. So we have plenty of time.
Yakuza.
Because Yakuza is... we want to put proper time into those games. Yeah. And not only that, as far as the short game goes, I think the last winner was Slay the Princess, but that's going to be... We've got 3 polls winners up right now that Dane wants to possibly be a part of. So I'm going to ask him
if we have a retro one?
If you got time for that. Oh, you know what? What do we have over on the retro poll? Let me check that real quickly. I know you guys are both on a crunch for time. I'm trying to be quick. The last winner for the retro poll was Rayman 2, The Great Escape.
Oh, that sucks. I'm just kidding. Nate's going to be excited.
So, we could do that. Or the last winner was Tex Murphy. So, I think that would... Let's save Tex Murphy, because that's going to be one that I'd actually like to put a little time into, because that's a point and click.
Tex Murphy feels like a full-ass game. Rayman feels like something we could play for 2 or 3 hours and get an opinion on.
But if we do Rayman, or we could do Forward to the Sky, which is the other double winner for the short game. And I don't know much about Forward to the Sky.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I didn't even see it win.
We'll hash that out. We'll announce it in Discord, and then listeners, you will just see. If you're not in the Discord, you'll see what we end up doing. If you would do us a favor and go leave us a review over on iTunes and Spotify. It really helps us out. The algorithm helps people, much like Adam did back in the day, find our show. And that would be killer if we got some new listeners coming in. If you want to join the Discord, that's where all the cool shit happens. bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. That'll get you an invite into the Discord, and you can come join in on the shenanigans, vote on the polls. I even have channels now that describe to you what's on the polls, because I feel like that's very helpful for people. Because I have a lot of games that people are like, what the fuck is that? Link to the website. You want to go check out the website that is kept up to date by Dane. bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically. You want to donate to the show and help me keep the lights on around here and keep the show going? Patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. $1 or more a month gets you the episodes early, ad-free, and you get the banter at the beginning. That's for patrons only. You didn't get that this episode because this is a 3-hour episode. Y'all just enjoy what you get. I love you. But if you donate $10 or more, you get all of that, plus your name read on each and every episode, like these wonderful, wonderful people. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of Juniper. Jeff, the original expendable Mr. Syllables. Old Jeffy Lube. Also, he is a duck. Eraser Adam. Shout out to his podcast, Spectre Approved. Team Retro. Go check him out over on YouTube. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, Flying Brian, Dorian Gray, and the RPG Wolverine, Logan Joe Reed. Thank you all very, very much. It is much, much appreciated. And that's about it. Oh, dude, you want to? Maybe I'll come up with like a cool 5-year special design. Throw it up on the store that no one ever goes to. tsmpproductions.threadless.com. Go get you a shirt, boys. Adam, thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening for all these years. Willie, thank you for putting up with my neurotic ass and my sometimes sternness about the show. I very much appreciate
Conversely,
it.
thanks for dealing with my occasional ADHD-based lackadaisicality. Hope it doesn't offend you too much. I do like doing this show with you, and hope that I've been a good host and contributor more often than not.
And here's the thing with me, and I say this to any listener, if we ever have like a qualm or anything like that, like if we argue, give me a couple days, and then we'll talk about it like adults usually, because I don't like to argue. So if something gets to that point, I usually just shut it off, and then I'll come back to it when everybody's calmed down. So yeah. That's how it's always going to be, man. So like, much love. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for listening. Nate, thank you for joining. I know you had to pop out, but thank you for joining. Thank you for again putting up with my nonsense all this time. Thank you for anybody who's ever guest on the show, including like James from JRPG Report. Much love to everybody. Thank you for listening.
Big props to Ryan for getting this show started.
Absolutely. And in fact, I was going to credit, I do believe Ryan bought me my first mic and sent me the mic to use when we started the show.
Nice.
So like, he
That's
really
amazing.
Is the catalyst for all of this. So big shout out to Ryan. He's going through some medical stuff. I really hope he feels better. So thoughts, prayers, and love to you, my good sir.
Shout out to Mikolov for sending me some equipment himself. I'm pretty sure that both the webcam I'm using now and the microphone both came off of Mikolov. He's a hell of a contributor even when he's not actively on the show anymore, and it wouldn't be quite the same if you hadn't popped in. So
yeah,
appreciate you, man.
Mickey, you the man, dude. And Mick sent me this fucking beautiful official Final Fantasy VIII strategy guide that I used to own back in the day and couldn't find. And not only did he send me the official Final Fantasy VIII strategy guide, he sent me the official Final Fantasy VIII strategy guide with stickers intact, motherfucker. Like, I don't even know if the one that I had still had its stickers on it in it anymore. So like, that is so cool. This is one of the coolest things I've gotten. So thank you very much, brother. And thank you all again for listening. We will be back in 2 weeks to talk to you about probably Rayman 2. We'll hash that out, and then we'll be talking about some Yakuza, and I am fucking excited. I love you all, and yeah, take it easy.